this team in the past, but Getchur Boydog have been having an absolute tear in the lower bracket. They knocked out the move. They knocked out the boys. This meta is playing out very well for them, and they've been playing rather excellently on that Mage Druid.
Yeah, I mean, so far in these tournaments, it really feels like it's get a mage or go home at this point. M2KC, they're going to be locking in the Fire Mage Assassination Holy Paladin, going up against the Rogue Mage Druid of Getchur Boydog. This is one of the only compositions we've seen be able to go toe-to-toe with Rogue Mage Druids in the past. We'll have to see what M2KC can get done. Can they get aggressive? I expect them to play very aggro in this matchup, but if they can deny Jamili lots of crowd control, lots of damage, they might be able to win this. So far, it looks like M2KC, they're completely on the back foot. Grayson in a little bit of trouble also, but he's got the Temporal Shield rolling. Full Ring of Frost going to land. RubCub desperately trying to keep Jamili alive. Good control from both sides, but it's Grayson who's forced into his Ice Block just 30 seconds into the game.
M2KC 3-0'd Getchur Boydog in the earlier open bracket stages, and right now it's not looking so certain that they'll be able to do the same here in the lower bracket, and they're not 100% locked in on the points. They would like to make it at least another round in the tournaments. Getchur Boydog are certainly playing spoiler in the North American region, making it interesting to say the least. Jamili cycloned at low health, then switched over by Flop, but Grayson is the one who's taking a beating. Is he going to be able to survive? Interrupted on Frost. Looks like he's going to make it out alive now. Baby Cake's looking to reverse the pressure over onto Jamili. Temporal Shield is over. How is RubCub going to exchange for this spout of damage? Connecting some big holy lights. Jamili blinking back, polymorphing Baby Cakes away, taking control of the fight as both rogues are crowd controlled. RubCub moves across into midfield, looking to lay down the hammer onto Flop, but he's on the run in stealth, managing to pre-Iron Bark the Hammer of Justice by stalling it based on his distance. Good play by Flop.
Yeah, Jamili's not gonna be able to find that Ring of Frost right there. Now he's caught up in a cheap shot. RubCub in a bash into Cyclone there. Jamili is gonna activate his Ice Block, but he did hold on onto the Cauterize there, so nicely done by him. And now we can see here the pressure for the Rogue Mage Druid is starting to amount. You can see the Rogue Mage Druid, basically, they have the advantage as the longer the game goes on. But now big swap here. Deadly Combustion here activated by Jamili. What are you gonna do, Flop? Flop in big trouble here. Doesn't have his Iron Bark. Roasty's still on the hunt, but he's gonna abandon that push right there. That was the Bark Skin. Flop no Trinket for about 20 more seconds. And now he has to be careful when his Trinket comes back up. So will the Blind of Roasty's. Will he Trinket out of that one? Will he sit through it? Grayson already down one Ice Block, but so is Jamili. Baby Cake's also on that Rogue, an exposed target, no Cloak of Shadows, and he's staying there behind the pillar, realizes that he might get swapped to. He's going to be ducking for cover. Jamili now in a kidney shot as the Rogue Mage Druid of Getchur Boydog are looking to get even more pressure in this match, Adrian.
Yeah, Baby Cakes is known very much for his Windwalker, so it's very, it's kind of difficult for him going up against someone as good and experienced on the Assassination Rogue as Roasties. He needs to be careful, but Flop is the one that is getting exchanged on here. He doesn't want to have to use his trigger, but he might just die for it. Does end up doing so. RubCub, this time he did have the diminishing return about 9.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see if they can get through Getchur Boydog and what happens between Cloud9 and Method Orange a little bit later today. Maybe M2KC can make a deep run. Maybe they can actually win this tournament. We'll have to see. This Rogue Mage Paladin is looking solid so far. Getchur Boydog, they've been on the back foot in this matchup. Flop has to be very careful. The swaps from the Rogue Mage Paladin are devastating, and if you make a wrong trade or you don't use the right cooldowns at the right time, you are going to lose the matchup quite quickly. Kidney Shot now secure over on the Baby Cakes to drop the Smokebomb. They're looking to get aggressive. Jamili putting out tons of damage. Kleptomania Spell Steal. Baby Cakes gets Cheap Shot on his Trinket. Trinket and Cloak of Shadows used by Baby Cakes, and maybe M2KC are looking to exploit the fact that Baby Cakes is a Windwalker main. Maybe he doesn't have the most experience on that Assassination Rogue.
All right, let's see if M2KC see that opportunity. Certainly, Baby Cakes is the best target at this point in time. RubCub needs to make sure he crowd controls Flop, though, at the same time, but he's currently locked down in quite a long chain. The advantage of bringing the Druid over the Paladin. Flop trying to sit through Blind as he expects to be the target. He doesn't want to be trading his Trinket with Blind automatically. He's waiting to see if Vendetta has been committed, or at least some cooldown, the Avenging Crusader. Now Vendetta activates, Flop Trinkets immediately to Iron Bark, realizing that Baby Cakes used his Trinket earlier on. He's likely to die in that situation, but Flop now no longer needs to worry about the Vendetta. Although, I say that, he doesn't need to worry about the Vendetta on himself, but maybe he still needs to worry about the Vendetta on Babycakes. The damage from M2KC is quite high. Get Your Boy Dog, though, now have recovered and look to counterattack. Rubcup sitting through Polymorph. Jamili trades Temporal. Not getting too much value on his bounce back, but the Polymorph is over. Rubcup begins to stabilize. And I am curious to see if M2KC look for that swap to flop.
Yeah, let's see if they can find it. Babycakes or Flop could go down here in the next couple of moments in this game. Jamili has his combustion rotating back up, and there it is. Dragon's Breath on the Babycakes. Full sheep. Why? I don't think Jamili has his Ring of Frost there. Unfortunately for him, Flop did a shapeshift on that stun, but beautiful stuff here from Roasties. Gets the follow-up stab. DR Ring of Frost, and now they're going for Grayson here. A little bit of weird targeting from M2KC. I would have much rather seen that setup happen over onto Babycakes. He's going to have his Trinket and his Cloak of Shadows in 20 seconds, so that kill window is lost now because they won't have the crowd control before those cooldowns rotate back up. Now Flop, the only real target here, but once again, doesn't seem to have the damage here to back it up. Nice peels here from Grayson and from Babycakes. Are going to keep M2KC at bay here, so we're going to see if M2KC can create a new opportunity. Rubcup gets blinded up there, uses his Blessing of Protection to get out of that one, and Divine Favor is going to be able to keep everybody on M2KC alive.
Yep, very well played there by M2KC. I feel like they're just kind of targeting anything because at some point they're going to find an opening. They'll keep the opponent guessing. You definitely don't want to get too predictable in the Rogue Mage mirror against the Druid because the Druid will just keep his hots up on the target that you're trying to kill if you can always read what it is. So M2KC trying things. This is kind of Jamili's playstyle. He likes to just play the game very high-paced, very aggressively, and then ultimately kind of finds kill off of mistakes rather than the sort of strategies that we see from some of the other Rogue Mages where it's tried and tested just a little bit more. Jamili in the middle of the map right now trying to set up some crowd control, but he's actually getting pressured reasonably hard. The fact that Rubcup's traded out both his Blessing and Protections means they won't have any breaks for the next blind, barring his Divine Shield, so that's an opening. Jamili actually pressed Combustion. This is an all-in attempt from Roasties and Jamili. All of their offensive cooldowns traded, but Flop just going to trade out his Trinket in exchange. Maybe they could have separated out those offensive cooldowns a little bit more, because now there's no real scary factors for M2KC, and Get Your Boy Dog are actually going to get aggressive.
Yeah, Jamili looking to get aggressive, but unfortunately he's taking quite a bit of damage right now, controlling up Babycakes. And you can see Rubcup, he's in a Polymorph. This could be the Cauterize. Jamili in some trouble. Trades out his Ice Block. And actually, M2KC, they're a little bit on the back foot right now. Where are the openings? I mean, Flop, I guess he has no Trinket. Grayson still has both of his Ice Blocks, so they're just going to go after Grayson at this period. I mean, look at Flop. The Hammer of Justice, there's no follow-up. Jamili's getting controlled. This matchup really isn't looking too bad for Get Your Boy Dog. I like the fact that they're going after Jamili. They're really just focusing on control, shutting down the crowd control, allowing Flop a lot of freedom in the match. And as a result, I mean, Grayson, he's going to be able to get Polymorphs on Rubcup without too much setup from his team. In the meantime, though, Grayson is getting bursted down. Jamili is really positioned super defensive right now.
This is starting to look clawful for M2KC. They 3-0'd Get Your Boy Dog earlier on in the tournament, but I'm starting to wonder if they are starting to think if this is for real in game number 2, because they have burned a significant amount of their cooldowns so far, and it's looking fortunate for Get Your Boy Dog to find victory as Rubcup is currently sapped. Jamili the target, silenced up while Roasties is in a Cyclone. It's 3 versus 1. Rubcup Divine Shields, it barely gets there in time.
Yeah, I just have to say, Sid right now is sitting with his phone. He Googled cat pun.
I'm sorry for being so clever.
Use the same pun twice as well. Use the fur for 4.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my focus on the game here. Rubcup getting that Hand of Sacrifice in the nick of time surely is the only reason why Jamili is able to stay alive in this situation. Grayson in a little bit of trouble, but I really gotta say they need to set up a blind play on the Flop, force out his Gladiator's Medallion, and then look to punish with a kidney shot into a Hammer of Justice. Now Jamili in big trouble. Rubcup, what are you gonna do? You have the Blessing of Protection, you have the Divine Favor. He's gonna go for the Divine Favor, gets spell stolen by Grayson into a counter spell, but Grayson forced into his Ice Block now. Rubcup in a full sheep. Jamili has a sheep over onto Babycakes though. Defensive blind from Roasties, not what you want to see here in this Rogue Mage Paladin matchup, but it is keeping Jamili alive for just a little bit longer. Jamili now going for the Ring of Frost, secures it. Flop should Trinket out of this one, so it lines up with the blind. He's gonna go ahead and hold on to it for now. Grayson could fall behind, but Jamili and RubCub actually being the ones looking to stay back here.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that exchange from both sides. I think Grayson was pretty smart. He was super low on health, just kind of blocked off the stun so that he could go for the sheep, go for the game-winning play. But Roasties kind of one-upped him there, the defensive blind in exchange for that block, meaning that there was nothing. Good job by M2KC to not break that as well, because honestly, when you're tunneling a target and you have to go for a blind straight that fast, it takes good communication. So really well played by both sides there. Grayson, though, at the end of the day, he's the one that's worse off for that exchange. Only one ice block remaining. And the teams have stabilized a little bit here. The ice block's coming back for Jamili momentarily. He's still playing a really defensive game. I do find it a bit ironic that Jamili criticizes people consistently for using the pillar as their best source of defense. Now he's been hugging that pillar basically the entire game here. Getchur Boydog definitely causing him some concern in game 2.
Yeah, sap on RubCub. Jamili could be in some trouble. There's the temporal shield rolling. Grayson making an offensive push. He's got the icy veins up. Really playing defensive. He gets the polymorph on Baby Cakes. Now looking to get the pressure rolling onto Grayson. Moves forward, gets interrupted on the fireball. That's going to slow down his combustion quite a bit. Flop position far away, and this is actually the same tactic we saw Cloud9 use to beat M2KC. They just played really defensive, shut down Jamili as much as you really can. And the thing about the Paladin is, as a mage, you can quite easily bully a Paladin by yourself. You don't need a Hammer of Justice into a sheep. You can just go in, get a polymorph on RubCub. He's going to have to do a really good job avoiding it. RubCub, outside of just a line of sight, has no way to really defend himself.
RubCub and a polymorph. Jamili on the run, but able to avoid for now. Looking to polymorph. Baby Case gets interrupted. Baby Case going to get some uptime. Stalled for a second. Dragon's Breath into Ring of Frost. Solid 1 versus 1 defense, but Baby Case trinkets to push for damage. It's a very aggressive play on the Rogue here. I'm curious if Roasties looks to peel back and Smokebomb and punish that. Immediately going for the stun Smokebomb play, looking for that immediate punish, and Flop has no Iron Bark. Baby Cakes is in a lot of trouble. Feint immediately out of the stun. Barely holding on at 21% dampening. In the meantime, Grayson secures crowd control onto RubCub. Looks like they're actually maybe switching to RubCub on the Blessing of Sacrifice. RubCub anticipated the crowd control and activated a defensive cooldown 1 second before it landed, which allowed him to break out of the chain and stay alive. Nice read by RubCub, although his mana not looking too great.
Yeah, definitely not RubCub. Gonna have to try to sit down for a drink or something. M2KC are gonna need to end this game immediately. Baby Cakes, no trinket. Full kidney shot, didn't preemptively feint this one. You're not on a Windwalker here, buddy. You gotta use that feint. Full kidney. You're gonna drop to about 20 or 30% there, but Flop is there to deflect with that Iron Bark, and he's still not out of the woods yet. RubCub in the blind, and of course that sheep onto Roasties. The only real reason here why Baby Cakes is able to survive that situation. RubCub in a polymorph out of that blind. Grayson doing a good job swapping over the CC here. Jamili has his Ice Block available. Going to be trading it out immediately for that Smoke Bomb, and kind of a strange feint there, if I'm going to be honest, from Baby Cakes. He's still on stun diminishing returns. You're not going to have that available if they decide to go for him, but instead they pull the trigger on the Flop. Jamili getting polymorphed up here. Grayson doing such a good job here deflecting these situations. Hammer of Justice comes out over on the Flop as well. The Iron Bark is off cooldown though. Flop is going to be forced to activate it. Surely, very greedy plays here from Flop. It's going to cost him a lot of mana here. Jamili as well in big trouble. This is going to come down.
Nice polymorph. Ooh, yeah. Jamili's in so much trouble. Temporal Shield's rolling. Can they shred through it? There's the Cauterize. Jamili on the run. He's running. He's hiding for his life. Cheap shot on RubCub. He's forced to use the Divine Shield. This is not looking good for M2KC. That Cyclone coming in from Flop. If they have any follow-up, there's the kidney shot. Grayson looking to close out the game, and it looks like Getchur Boydog, they're going to be able to put a point on the board. Honestly, M2K, you know, the fact that you do get the Shadow Melt, so you get an extra re-stealth, which means you get an extra Garrote Silence or an extra cheap shot potential. It's definitely strong, but I think there's definitely a case to be made in favor of the Human Relentless as well. All crowd control is going to be sitting less, all stuns will be sitting less, as well as it gives you the option with every man for himself to break out of the stuns.
To be honest, in this matchup, I wouldn't recommend it because Baby Cakes has been a target and now he's even a bigger target. However, if you're playing the Rogue Mage Paladin and you're the team that's on the aggressive side of things, I feel like it's not too bad of a racial choice.
Ooh, good start here for M2KC. There's a sap on RubCub, but it's Grayson massively on the back foot. He's got the Temporal Shield rolling. There's a Garrote Silence on a Flop, and Grayson is forced into his first Ice Block. Really aggressive plays from M2KC. This is what we want to see from them. The last game, they were way too defensive. I feel like Getchur Boydog is going to struggle on this smaller map.
Yeah, the smaller map certainly going to be the advantage to M2KC as RubCub can close the gap to the enemy healer Flop a lot more rapidly. Bit of an error here by Grayson. RubCub on diminishing return. Now he's going to be free of the polymorph to pursue after Flop. Flop trinkets blind. RubCub follows up with Hammer of Justice, but Flop was able to Iron Bark right in between the crowd control effects, allowing Grayson a lot of damage reduction, and so much so that he can easily survive the crowd control applied to Flop. Although still being pressured down, M2KC looking for a lot more damage here in game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, what can they get done is really the question. Jamili going for a polymorph, unfortunately not able to find it. Grayson actually sneaks one in onto RubCub. Jamili trading out his ice block, and unfortunately for Jamili, he doesn't have 2 in this matchup. Grayson does with his cold snap. So Mage is on a relatively even playing field at this point, but RubCub still has basically every defensive. He's got the ultimate sacrifice, he's got a divine shield, he's got a massive heal that he can land on Jamili right now. Grayson unfortunately able to find the spell steal counter spell. Now an attempt here by M2KC, Hammer of Justice on Flop, polymorph on Baby Cakes, Grayson in a kidney shot, and in a lot of trouble, quite frankly. That's going to be his second ice block. M2KC right now, they're kind of walking all over Getchur Boydog.
Now Getchur Boydog looking to counterattack back. RubCub in crowd control, likely the divine shield sacrifice. Very surprising to see RubCub sit on it for this long. Likely Cauterize still available, but Jamili gets Cyclone done.
But it was sacrifice.
Basically no health. Divine Favor is active from RubCub. His divine shield gonna fade. Perhaps they can spell steal it off before he gets the heal. RubCub barely sneaks it in, but now he is down basically his entire defensive line.
Nice shadow step kick.
Baby Cakes moves in, lands the interrupt into the poly, and Getchur Boydog are just owning right now in game number 3. Full Cyclone secured, and Jamili, how are you even still alive at this point? I don't even know if he is able to comprehend the fact that he's still alive. How is he still alive at this point, Ben?
Ooh, Grayson, he's not going to be alive for much longer. There's a polymorph, but unfortunately he was on diminishing return. Hammer of Justice now on Flop. Grayson's in some trouble as well. Jamili, he's running, he's hiding. RubCub finds the heals. There's a full sap over onto Flop. Grayson now. Jamili managed to weather the storm somehow, some way. It's Grayson who's in so much trouble. There's a full kitty shot. Jamili pushing forward. He lands a polymorph on Baby Cakes. Full blind on Flop. He trinkets out. There's no healing, and Grayson falls. M2KC, that was incredible.
Yeah, basically on this large map, I really want to see Jamili abuse Baby Cakes. Baby Cakes has to be the exposed weakness in a sense. Drag him around the pillar, force Flop to get in range of Roasties, and then you can make those big swaps onto Flop, similar to what we saw on Asherman, similar to what we saw in game number 1 as well. And if they can get a couple of those swaps, then they can take the game here for M2KC. But yeah, like you guys mentioned, the map definitely favors Getchur Boydog.
Yeah, Jamili taking some pressure. He does use the combustion, looking to get aggressive now onto Grayson. An interrupt on Flop into a Hammer of Justice. Smokebomb drops down. Grayson in some trouble, using double shimmers to try to escape, but it's likely the first ice block. A big offensive push here by M2KC. Now Flop into a blind. Is he going to trinket? No, he's just sitting it right now. Jamili looking for the Ring of Frost, manages to find it, but Grayson, he's in a really good position defensively. And this might actually pay off. He drops the Ring of Frost defensively. Roasties really can't chase him. Good positioning by Grayson, allowing Flop to hold on to that trinket. It was kind of a bait. I mean, Grayson, he used his first ice block. They tried to get the trinket from Flop. If he had trinketed there, then Grayson could have been in a lot of trouble during hypothermia. Just one more setup, they could have won the game. So I like the fact that Flop took the risk, took the gamble. Grayson with good positioning was able to hold on. And now Getchur Boydog is in a prime position.
Jamili now with equally good position, able to avoid the blind sap setup. Although maybe not entirely. Grayson follows up with huge bursts of damage, blinking in for the polymorph. Gets the polymorph, even though it's on diminishing return, it may just be enough to get enough damage for the Cauterize. RubCub goes for the big heal, but he gets smoke bombed on it. Jamili blinks out, but they get the Gladiator safeguard regardless. They spell steal off the Divine Favor, and Jamili is still in trouble at very low health. RubCub not casting Holy Lights at this point, a bit surprising as Jamili falls further behind, trying to desperately get control of Baby Cakes. Dragon's Breath into Poly, looking for a second one as they set up damage onto Grayson. 3 versus 1. This is where you would expect to see the ice block. Grayson's trying to hold on to it with Temporal, but already very low on health. Gladiator's Maledict absorbing heals, and ice block will be forced.
Wow.
On top of the Iron Bark, on top of the Temp Shield. That's a 3-for-1 exchange. M2KC with a massive lead.
It actually felt like M2KC messed that setup up. As RubCub pushed in, Jamili blinked away. He wasn't able to follow up with the Ring of Frost with a polymorph, but still, with just raw damage, they pushed through the Temporal Shield and the Iron Bark and got the ice block anyways. That was big damage coming in from M2KC. Getchur Boydog, they're in a lot of trouble. I mean, the only thing they have is Flop's trinket at this point. If Flop has to trinket out, it's going to be dangerous. Roasty's got Vendetta. Jamili, he's got the combustion. He decides to pull the trigger. He's looking to get aggressive now onto Grayson with massive Fire Mage damage. Flop in a good position, trying to avoid crowd control, trying to line of sight RubCub the best he can, but I feel like it's an eventuality, or it's an inevitability that RubCub will get that hammer of justice, and that's when it's going to start getting really scary for Getchur Boydog.
How long can Getchur Boydog stall? They need to stall for 4 minutes. Well, now 3 minutes for the cold snap. So Grayson has an ice block in and out when crowd control gets out of control. RubCub tried to cross the map to get the game-winning stun, but Grayson intercepts him. Beautiful interception on that polymorph. Jamili now could be in trouble. His temporal shield with some high value, though, and now RubCub escapes the crowd control. He's leading the charge for the team, chasing down Flop. Flop re-stealths the incoming stun and manages to stall it for a little bit longer. Flop playing max range. This is the advantage of Tolvaron. Now looking to Cyclone, but doesn't get it. RubCub gets there first, and this could easily be game over. Jamili goes for the game-winning Ring of Frost, and everybody is locked down in crowd control. This is going to be victory for the Mew Kitty Cats, and not very good news for the Move or their fans.
Yeah, this is
a very interesting build, and this is something I talked about with Sea-Doo. Instead of playing the Storm, Earth, and Fire, which is really susceptible to Frost Novas and Roots, he's playing Serenity. And I think he's playing the Vision of Perfection as well. So you can actually, Vision of Perfection, Serenity, get out a lot of Rising Sun kicks in a short period of time, and you can put out massive bursts with this build.
Doesn't that also reset the cooldown?
Of what?
Of Serenity.
The Vision of Perfection?
Yeah.
No, it just procs it.
Okay.
Well, it makes it a lower cooldown, and it also has a chance to
yeah, it makes it a lower cooldown. So it'll throw it off cadence a little bit. This is actually really nice. I like this idea. This is so this has actually been the North American approach to the Rogue Mage meta, is rather than what we've seen in Europe, some teams just going for more damp. Actually, some teams are just going full aggression. You know, we see Sea-Doo playing the Shaman, so in the late game he'll have some mana left, hopefully, and he'll be able to go for a little bit more Purge all-ins. And Trill with the Serenity. Granted, it doesn't really do too much early in the game, but it will lead to some opportunities potentially for Method Orange.
Yeah, and that was the first Serenity of the game right there. Not able to find too much pressure at the back of that one. The Iron Bark was forced out. Trill also used his Gladiator's Medallion to break out of Snuts' Smokebomb right there. But Snuts held on to his Vendetta here. Sea-Doo's already trinketed out of a blind, so when Cubsy, you can see his positioning right now. He's moving towards and a bash right there. If Wealthyman can secure a polymorph of this, that could be big trouble here onto Trill. Snuts, he could be pulling the Vendetta cooldown right there. There's the Icy Veins as well. Trill gonna respond with the Touch of Karma. Mez as well, backing him up with the Anti-Magic Zone. The Diffuse Magic's being traded out, so basically every single defensive cooldown, and Cubsy gets the low Cyclone. There's a DR polymorph here over onto Sea-Doo. He should be breaking out of that one quickly here. Sea-Doo has a lot of work to do here. The Essence of Flame right there, helping Sea-Doo out, chopping Trill off, and that was the Spirit Walker's Grace as well, which grants an immunity to interrupt effects. And now Trill on the offense here, that was his Touch of Death. This is the Serenity, big push here for Method Orange, but doesn't look like they can quickly, that they can dent the defense of Wealthyman right now.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, considering how much we built it up, I'm very disappointed by these one-shots from Trill so far. Every single time Cubsy just matches it with Iron Bark, we see Temporal Shield, we see Ice Barrier. They haven't even got so far as the Gladiator's Safeguard from Wealthyman so far, so we'll have to see how this does play out later into dampening. Let's talk about good things for Method Orange. The Shaman is working out very well. The mana bar is fantastic, 80% plus mana versus Cubsy's low mana. Cubsy's just going to be able to get drinks though, but I think that's fine for the Shaman team. The Shaman team knows that in deep dampening, that's where they're going to win. They're not going to go stopping Cubsy too much. The diseases from Mez will do a little bit of work there. Blind onto Sea-Doo, he trinkets out. It's just about surviving for Method Orange. If they can keep playing this very well in terms of defense, rotating, then I think they will win the game, or at least have a very good chance at winning the game late. Snuts recognizing this is actually trying to harass Sea-Doo a little bit on that Shaman.
Yeah, and Cubsy did sit down for a drink there. He wasn't able to completely reset his mana bar. Mez did shut that down, but he did manage to get some, and both of these healers are running the Essence that restores mana here, so they're going to be getting a lot of procs. You can see, actually, Sea-Doo is running that Spirit Link-esque Essence that we saw Gorecki run, so Pretty interesting builds all around here. We're gonna have to keep an eye open and see what happens here. Now Trill caught up in a kidney shot. The frozen orb gets dropped. Sea-Doo though deflecting with that earthen wall totem, and now Trill is looking to aggress. Here is the temporal shield. Sea-Doo purges it off. Beautifully done here. Now Trill has a lot of offense available with that Serenity. Diffuse magic out of a Nova. There it is. Paralyzed over onto Cubsy. A lot of damage here onto Wealthy Man. And now this is what I want to see from Method Orange. They force out the Iron Bark right there without committing the Serenity. Actually did commit the Serenity at the end of it, but they net Cubsy's trinket at the end of that push. So it's looking interesting for Method Orange. If they can purge off these temporal shields, that is a potential win condition for them. Now Snut's building up a lot of pressure, and Mez and Trill just with pure damage able to get Wealthy Man's first ice block before dampening is even in the game. Now Sea-Doo in a little bit of trouble here. Might have to use his Astral Ship, but preemptive Ghost Wolf there. Nice place from Sea-Doo. He's going to keep him alive for now.
Yeah, honestly, I've been so impressed by Trill in this matchup. He played that perfectly. He Ring of Peace Snuts into a double leg sweep, then he ports back, gets the disarm. Meanwhile, offensively, he didn't even use his Touch of Death to get the ice block from Wealthy Man, now committing it, but unfortunately to no avail. Temporal Shield to answer that. It took them a little bit too much time to set up that win condition, but still, very good, lively play from Method Orange in the start of this one. Dampening hasn't even started yet. They've already forced an ice block, they've already forced the trinket. Cubsy's clearly being taxed on mana despite those drinks, and Sea-Doo, he's sitting pretty. Snuts tried for a play on him, didn't manage to get it. Trill with a great Transcendence disarm to deny that, and Method Orange, you know, they're looking like a different team here. They beat the boys, they want to prove themselves. The defending BlizzCon champions want to prove themselves that they're not just an average, you know, barely qualifying to the finals team. They are a top dog in North America, and if they could beat Cloud9 here, that would be excellent proof of that.
A lot of pressure onto Wealthy Man. Sea-Doo once again purging off that temporal shield. If he can get the ice barrier as well, that's going to be big trouble. Cubsy holding onto his Iron Bark, but that means his mana is getting taxed. Cubsy realizes he needs to keep a defensive positioning, and nice cross kick there from Maz into the paralyze of Trill. Gonna force out another ice block from Wealthy Man. This is looking like the old Method Orange of Legion, the one that won Spring BlizzCon, sorry. Trill once again, Transcendence back to the pillar, gets a kidney shot from Snuts, and now looking to make his way back in there, trying to get offensive. Sea-Doo as well, backing his team up, realizing Cubsy wants to go for drinks here. Cubsy proccing a little bit of mana here, but it's not looking too great. You don't want to be tied with the Shaman, and now Sea-Doo sending his Earth Elemental over onto Cubsy. As you can see right there at the back of your screen, is going to mean that Cubsy can no longer go for a drink without committing his Shadow Melt for about 40 seconds. So nicely done here by Method Orange. They have 40 seconds now to just focus on building pressure, bashing the Polymorph into DR Polymorph from Wealthy Man. He's going to secure a little bit of pressure on the Trill. He doesn't have Touch of Karma, but a beautiful double leg sweep, Touch of Death, Serenity. Wealthy Man can just explode. Cubsy trinkets out of the paralyze. Do they have enough damage to take Wealthy Man down? And for the first time ever, beat C9 here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the purges coming in from Sea-Doo. This is all in offense. NA Zug going for the kill on Wealthy Man. Cubsy, he has no mana. He can't keep up. Win share from Sea-Doo, and Method Orange have won the first game in this series. Nagran.
But if Trill stacks those cooldown in deep dampening, they can just kill him through it, or if he spaces them out, I feel like it creates windows where they can really get those kills. So I think this is going to be a very telling game here for Cloud9. If Method Orange can beat them on the largest map in the pool, all of a sudden Method Orange has a really winning shot at this cup.
Definitely do. I mean, this could be the answer for the Rogue Mage Druid, potentially. Already good aggression on towards Wealthy Man. Temporal Shield explodes along with the Gladiator Safeguard. Gladiator Safeguard probably the major objective before the ice blocks to actually force. Iron Bark now out of the way, although Trill being counter-aggressed needs to be a bit careful. Stunned out in midfield by Snuts. Wealthy Man looking for the closing kill with that Ice Lance, but not finding it. Crowd control is disrupted by Mez. Snuts tries to get follow-up with the blind. Gladiator's Medallion going to exchange fairly for that. Trill retreating back with Sea-Doo and looking to recover.
Yeah, Trill's actually playing both defensive trinkets, so he's got the Notorious Gladiator's Emblem as well as the Gladiator Safeguard. So he realizes he's probably going to be the only target that can fall in this match, opting to build his character around pure defense, actually not using Vision of Perfection as his main Azure trait. I'll get back to that in a moment. If Trill actually manages to survive this, as a polymorph on Sea-Doo, he's in a lot of trouble. The Diffused Magic already trades in. Sea-Doo forced to trade out the Spiritling Totem, And this match is looking completely different. Trill's going to have to stabilize. He's got the Touch of Karma rolling up in around 22 seconds, but he's caught in a kidney shot, and he could easily just fall here.
Cloud9 are just playing a lot more aggressive here. Trill trying to transcendence back to Sea-Doo's side, but counterspell up and kick is up, so Sea-Doo needs to avoid 2 interrupts. Trill is trying to stall and cross the map with Sea-Doo. Flying Serpent kick as we see Trill and Sea-Doo going to be tag teaming the defensive duo. Mez is doing his best to disrupt and prevent Cloud9 from connecting. Trill likely to start getting aggressive here soon, but that Smokebomb is still a threat. Vendetta up in 20. Perhaps Trill will continue to wait and just allow Mez to do some heavy lifting until his defense is available.
Yeah, I really like Trill's build. He's playing triple Impassive Visage. He's got double Azurite Vein, so a lot of the sort of stall-based defensive Azurite traits to keep himself alive in a matchup like this, playing the Orc Windwalker Monk, and I feel like he really can do it. If he plays well with his defensive cooldowns, rotates them properly with Sea-Doo, he can live a really long time against Rogue Mage.
Yeah, and right now they're making another push here. This is it. This is the Serenity that we've been talking about. Cubsy deflecting with the Iron Bark, though. But that means Trill now has a window with his Touch of Death to force out an Ice Block. If Sea-Doo is there to purge out, you know, ice barriers and some healing over time effects, that could potentially be it. Trill, Fortifying Brew, there's the Touch of Death.
Whoa!
Ice barrier. The Touch of Death's not even going to go off before Wealthy Man has to Ice Block. And this is what we've been talking about. Having that Serenity to space out with that Touch of Death just creates so much more pressure. But that was also the Fortifying Brew, which is a defensive talent for Trill. So potential there for Snuts as well to punish.
Yeah, he's using the Fortifying Brew and the Battlemaster Trinket, so he's getting a massive increase in his health, which means a massive increase with this Touch of Death. So, baiting out the Iron Bark with Serenity works out really well when you can, you know, hit with 100,000 Touch of Death after that. We'll have to see if this is going to continue to work for Method Orange. Trill in some trouble, trades out the Touch of Karma. A little bit of damage rolling now onto Wealthy Man, but Trill is still the one in trouble. Good crowd control coming in here from Cloud9. They're looking to reverse the pressure. Trill in a lot of trouble. Sea-Doo has to trinket out, but he doesn't have much healing. There's no Ascendance. There's no Spiritling Totem. Trill, what are you going to do? He's playing aggressive. He disarms Nuts. Now Transcendencing away. Sea-Doo still in crowd control. Ray of Frost channeling out. Nice interrupt there by Trill with that Ring of Peace. And Trill's been doing a great job defensively in this match. Kidney Shot going to land on Snutsy, trying to slow down Trill just a little bit. He's been able to run too much in this matchup, but with that Earthen Wall Totem, he should be able to survive. And if we look at mana, once again, Method Orange, if they can hold on, they'll have a mana lead. And these burst cooldowns coming up for Trill are just going to be so scary again for Cloud9.
Sea-Doo throwing out the Earth Elemental to try and keep Cubsy in combat. I'm curious if Cubsy actually used Shadow Melt to drop it. Now the Earth Elemental going back onto Cubsy. Very important as the Shaman to use that Earth Elemental to stop the Druid from drinking, because Cubsy is already actually so far behind on mana, down 1 Ice Block. Cloud9 not in a good position considering this is their best map. Perhaps Cloud9 will be forced to change their strategies and no longer focus on their all-out defense and survival-based tactics. Cloud9 are mixing it up. They're attacking Mez, although it seems a bit early, not even into dampening at this point. I think it's unlikely that we see Mez go down, and leaving Trill open with this Serenity build could be dangerous. Trill and Mez both connecting, and as immediately as I say that, they both get crowd controlled. Sea-Doo going to be trinketing out of blind, activating that Gladiator's Maledict, trying to absorb some heals on Wealthy Man for a push. Cubsy denying the push with Iron Bark. Mez kept at bay by Snuts in a stun. A decent amount of damage onto Mez pre-dampening. Perhaps if Cloud9 can hold on a tad bit longer, they certainly can exploit the Death Knight as a target deeper on into dampening.
Yeah, but that's Iron Bark, and Trill, look what he's got available. He's got the Serenity. He's going to pull the trigger. Big Rising Sun kicks, big Fists of Fury. Wealthy Man, how are you going to hold on? Cubsy spamming out heals. Sea-Doo not in a position just yet. And actually grapple weapon used onto Wealthy Man. Bit of a misplay there by Trill, unfortunately. Not going to really matter that much, but this is a massive offensive push. Touch of Death. Hit from Trill. Wealthy Man holds on. Cubsy used a lot of mana to keep him alive, but Sea-Doo also used a lot of mana purging in that situation, and now he's actually put himself on an even foot with Cubsy.
Yeah, but Cubsy is the one who expends his mana much quicker. Mez is also playing that transfusion, so he's going to have massive death strikes here. Wealthy Man, no mobility. Cubsy's Iron Bark just rotated back up, has to use it immediately. Mez caught up in a kidney shot, still has both of his stun breakers, that Icebound Fortitude and that Gladiator's Medallion now. Wealthy Man Man with another blink right there. Now Trill and Mez should have a lot of uptime if Sea-Doo can assist with a wind shear, or if they can connect anything onto Cubsy. That could be another ice block. Wealthy Man taking a lot of damage. There it is. Grip, leg sweep. Wealthy Man trades out his ice block. Cubsy has no trinket. Nice capstone.
No mana.
Snuts taking so much damage. No mana onto Cubsy. Anyone can go down here. I think Wealthy Man is in big trouble.
If they lose on their best map, that is devastating. Method Orange may have cracked the code if they can hold on a bit longer. Mez in trouble here, although I don't think dampening nearly high enough for him to ultimately go down. Sea-Doo going to trade Spirit Link Totem to get aggressive. Wind shearing Cubsy on the heel. Two members of the team are low, and Trill with Serenity in another minute. It's going to be a big threat. Touch of Death in 30 seconds. Mez is trying to really do some damage here with the Abomination activated. Making a big push. Unfortunately, it's sitting in a Frost Nova. Defensive blind, panic mode for Cloud9 onto Trill to try and stall, but how much longer can they stall? Cubsy is just completely out of mana. Ice Barrier absorbing some of this damage, but now Cubsy continues to get crowd controlled into the paralysis, and Wealthy Man is taking unhealable damage, and Method Orange have done it. They've cracked the code, and
perhaps they will look in perfect shape to complete that triage of achievements, of accomplishments for the Method. I mean, for Trill, it's a little bit heart won, heart lost, I suppose, since he's raiding on limit, but he has deprioritized that in favor of Method Orange, and I think his teammates, us on the desk, and a lot of the fans at home will be happy to see them kind of reaping in the benefits of that.
Method trying to win the triathlon of World of Warcraft with the world first raid PvP as well. This is actually unbelievable. Sea-Doo caught up in a stun on his trinkets. Cloud9 are mixing it up, going after the healer a lot more this time around. Let's see if Sea-Doo's ready for it. Wealthy Man, though, may not be able to keep up the chase. He's being counter-pressured quite heavily.
I think that's a Gladiator safeguard already pulled out. Trill with the Serenity, putting out some big pressure. Interrupt now on Cubsy, and I feel like Cubsy at some point is going to have to be a little bit more conservative with his mana, or try to sneak away for drinks if he really can. Actually, a strategy adaptation here by Cloud9. When in doubt, train the blue, and right now, Sea-Doo, he's looking a little bit blue with how much damage he's taken, trading out the Spirit Link Totem, trading out the Ascendance, trading out Astral Shift, Trinket. What hasn't he traded out at this point? I mean, Sea-Doo has nothing left.
Yeah, Sea-Doo's used basically every single cooldown there in his arsenal, and Trill right now peeling Snuts a little bit. Not the situation you want to be in. You want to be in a situation where you can leave Snuts with Sea-Doo alone, and you can go after Wealthy Man on that mage. But finally, Sea-Doo's going to get some space from Snuts here. Snuts is, slowed up by Trill, so Sea-Doo should have an easy time avoiding these kidney shots, which means Snuts is going to have to use it on Trill or Mez potentially. Now we see a bash onto Trill, and Wealthy Man setting up for another polymorph here onto Maz. Sea-Doo though snipes to this spot. Here's the Cyclone. This should allow Snuts to connect. The Frozen Orb is ready. Full sheep onto Trill. A lot of trouble for Sea-Doo. Nice Earthen Wall Totem though. Should be able to deflect that.
Sea-Doo doing a great job so far despite Cloud9's relentless assault. I'm almost wondering if they should have gone for a smaller map if this was the strategy. Of course, that would put them with the limitation of Cubsy's inability to drink, but I don't know if he will be able to drink if he ever tries to. The damage output from Method Orange is so much higher with the build adaptations of this Windwalker Death Knight and the purges of Sea-Doo threatening the removal of the Ice Barrier, as well as the Gladiator Safeguard potentially. Sea-Doo once again the target. Wealthy Man spell stealing the Ghost Wolf, trying to remove some of the defense from Sea-Doo to keep pushing forward. Trill though backs him up with a grapple weapon into a Fist of Fury. Snut's going to break out of its snare with the maneuverability sprint to get back on target. Wealthy Man channeling that Ray of Frost, but Sea-Doo counteracting its slowing effect with the Ghost Wolf, then wind shearing Cubsy on a cast, putting him behind two members of Cloud9 very low and on match point. Actually unbelievable to say that Method Orange could quite possibly 3-0 the reigning spring champions. They were looking undefeatable with their Rogue Mage Druid, but after going back into the spell book, into the Essences book, Method Orange have studied up, prepared a strategy that Cloud9 are now the ones that need to adapt to.
Yeah, and that was the defensive blind on Trill right there as well, which means if Sea-Doo's ever in big trouble, he can just trinket out of that. Now Trill, nicely done there with the leg sweep. Sea-Doo though is still in a lot of trouble here. Mez with the anti-magic zone should be able to deflect that situation, but that was scary. Sea-Doo doesn't have his Spirit Link Totem. He's still in big trouble here. Snuts looking to claim his life. Trill though backing him up with the paralyze. Sea-Doo doing a good job line of sighting Wealthy Man, and now Trill using his trinket as well there in the midst midst of things, trying to keep his healer alive. And I really want to see Mez and Trill now connect over onto Wealthy Man, get that pressure going. And there's also a kill opportunity onto Cubsy. If Cubsy is too offensive, he could easily die. I honestly want to see the Trinket out of one of these stunts and just have him punished. But unfortunately, that was the Serenity of Trill used over onto Snuts. So that kill opportunity kind of lost in this moment in time. And we're going to see Snuts probably recover from here.
This is a perfect strategy for Method Orange. They just have Mez sitting all over Wealthy Man, denying his damage, not allowing him to get on top of Sea-Doo, and Trill just denying Snuts every step of the way using Disable, Fists of Fury Snare, Grapple Weapon, Detox on Sea-Doo, Paralysis on Snuts. Just a lot of defensive tools. And look at Cubsy's mana. He is really struggling in this situation to keep his team alive. Safeguard procs onto Snuts. Ironbark trades out onto Wealthy Man. Mez still all over him, but it's Snuts on the back foot. This could easily be his evasion, and they can't continue the chase on Sea-Doo. They got so close, but Sea-Doo now, he almost has his Astral Shift back up. He's got his Trinket, Spirit Link Totem. Things are looking really good here for Method Orange.
I actually can't believe it. Method Orange have figured out the answer. We've been sitting here stumped on the desk. All of the teams have been feeling hopeless and trying to find a response to the Rogue Mage Druid, but all along it was still the Windwalker Death Knight. After changing up their build, now they're dealing devastating amounts of damage. Cubsy's burning mana so much more rapidly, and they're forcing cooldowns left and right. I mean, this is a map that Cloud9 should absolutely decimate the Windwalker Death Knight on. So is Toveron, but they're not even close to finding a kill, and you can tell that they're desperate. They're constantly going after Sea-Doo. They haven't even really switched their strategy. Big push here by Trill, making a swap over to Snuts. He could easily just drop. This is going to be a massive touch of death about to explode with that Fortifying Brew, but Snuts sees it coming. He faints right before the touch of death connects alongside Cubsy's Ironbark, making it not even tickle.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there. Snuts going to be able to survive those cooldowns, but he has used his evasion here, so potential for another swap like that with a Vision of Perfection proc or in a minute. Now Cubsy caught up in that Asphyxiate stun. Sea-Doo though caught up in a Kidney Shot, not able to purge out that Ice Barrier. Mez trading out his Anti-Magic Zone. Cubsy's going to have to look for a drink, and every time he does that, I feel like they should be able to bank themselves at least an Ice Block, if not threaten a kill onto Snuts. Snuts holding on to his Vanish though, should be able to allow Cubsy to recover. Cubsy's looking for it. Mez Trinkets out. Cubsy sitting down for a restuff. Going to be forced out because of that damage that Trill is doing over onto Snuts. Cubsy needs to just top off everybody and really try to sit down for the drink, but Mez is making it difficult for him with all of these diseases. Sea-Doo now forced to Trinket and trade out his Astral Shift on that attempt with the Vendetta, with the Ice Events. Nice Death Quick double leg sweep here from Method Orange, and Cubsy sitting down for a drink at the back. Let's see, can they stop him? Trill is there. Ring of Peace, is it available? No, he's gonna roll over and get him out with that touch of Karma, actually.
Yeah, nicely done by Trill, but he trades out the Karma. A little bit over-aggressive, maybe, but they had to slow down the drink. Trill, he's used to Fuse, he used Touch of Karma. He's actually in a fair bit of trouble. Kitty Shot lands from Snuts. Can they do it? Pre-Fortifying Brew by Trill in order to survive. He's almost out of the crowd control. He's got the Spirit Link Totem. He definitely doesn't want to have to drop it at this moment in time, and I don't think he will. Cubsy needs to do a good job getting away with that mana once again. Trill forced to use Serenity onto Snuts, and not the worst thing for Snuts. I mean, he trades out the Feint. He should be able to soak a lot of that damage, but the pressure's still big. There's a Kidney Shot, Smoke Bomb, Sea-Doo in a full Polymorph. Trill forced to Trinket. He's running, he's hiding. Paralysis on Snuts. He's doing everything he can to escape. Nice Ring of Peace. Trill with beautiful defensive plays, now looking to make an offensive push, but he's caught in midfield. Beautiful Vortex there by Cubsy. Safeguard gets Kleptomania spell stolen away by Wealthy Man. Sea-Doo forced to trade his Ascendants, his Spirit Link, but Method Orange hold on.
Look at the dampening, it's getting higher. Mez is going to become a target soon. Trill is also fully exposed at this point with no defense remaining in his arsenal. Earthen Wall, the last thing left. Sea-Doo needs to make sure he connects that before getting crowd controlled. Polygraph being cast, Sea-Doo in a blind, no way out, and this could be it for Trill. He's trying to push for the kill, but Wealthy Man has 2 blocks. There's no way they're going to be able to get it. Anti-Magic Zone from Mez, saving Trill here in quite possibly the final seconds. If it wasn't for that Anti-Magic Zone, Trill stuns Snuts. He portals back, but that Gladiator's Maledict is absorbing a huge amount of heals onto Trill. He's going to have to touch a Karma again. Fortunately, Cubsy was nearby to trade. Now rolling back, hopefully in a line of sight of Sea-Doo shortly. Fist of Fury with that Turbo Fist to dodge Snuts' attacks as Trill backpedals back to Sea-Doo's side. Grapple weapon on Snuts for the follow-up. Trill stalling to the best of his ability at this moment in time. Cubs are getting stunned up, but it may not matter. Trill is taking a huge amount of damage. Diffuse Magic, Fortifying Brute, keeps Trill going a little bit longer. It might just be a little bit longer that they need. Gladiator Safeguard gonna proc. Wealthy Man's gonna bounce back. Snuts down at half, but Trill wants to keep going. But can he?
I just want to see Sea-Doo spam Purge right now. He has such a big mana lead. He has to try to keep Method Orange offensives here somehow. Cubsy going for the game-winning play. Rake's not secured. Kidney shot. Sea-Doo trinketing out of that Cyclone right there. He's going to be able to keep Trill alive, but in about a minute and a half from now, when Snuts gets his blind up, that surely is going to be the game here for C9. So they need to get that mana dumped onto Wealthy Man. I want to see Purge from Sea-Doo here. There it is. Purge is coming out. Wealthy Man forced into the ice block. Now Trill, Sea-Doo needs to recover him before that next CC chain. Cubsy's on top of him. There's the bash on the Spirit Walker's Grace. Can Wealthy Man secure the polymorph? He goes for it. He blinks. He fake casts. Nice grounding totem from Sea-Doo. He's going to deflect. Sea-Doo now swapping side here with Trill. Trill has his trinket. Has his touch of karma coming up in 10 seconds. Wealthy Man is not looking great. Mez is all over him. A lot of damage. Mez is just looking to solo him in that hypothermia. Temporal shield might just tick, and it's going to keep him alive for how much longer here, Van?
That's a really good question. We'll have to see. Cubsy doing everything he can, but Trill trades up the touch of karma. Wealthy Man, are you going to make the block? Are you going to play out the offensive play? He does. He blocks the touch of karma. This is a dangerous move from Wealthy Man, but it might pay off. Sea-Doo gets caught into the full blind. I like that play from Wealthy Man. Cloud9 puts a point on the board, but that was...
It's open.
Yeah, let's see here. Hook point could be the last game here for this series. Method Orange certainly looking to try to make it that way. Snuts moving in here. Let's see what kind of opener can he get. There's a double cheap shot here on the DPS, and it looks like Cloud9 are going to be going after Sea-Doo. Garrote into Kidney Shot secured. Wealthy Man blinking forward to get that frozen orb, but nice response here from Mez with that anti-magic zone. Now Trill should have a lot of uptime here. Seeing, oh, Cubsy actually the target of choice here, but Trill wasn't there. If Trill was there, that could have been potential danger. Now defensive blind immediately out of Snuts here should keep Cubsy alive. Cubsy's playing that feral affinity. This is danger time for Cubsy.
Yeah, so definitely a little scary. I actually wish Trill trinketed out of the blind. I think they could have kept up the pressure. Instead, they lost a lot of their offensive momentum. Trill sat a full blind into a sap, now in a polymorph, really unable to get any sort of damage out. Sea-Doo's still in some trouble. I think that might have been a little bit of a mistake, but we'll have to see how it plays out. I liked the fact that they tried to punish Cubsy as much as possible, and I mean, Trill still has a lot of damage available. The next stun on Cubsy could be absolutely devastating.
All right, let's see if this ends up being a healer race. Sea-Doo is the main target for Cloud9 again, trying to duck around the corner. It's all about Mez supporting him with that Chains of Ice. Snuts currently in that. Cubsy's trying to add some extra damage. That was the strategy from the Rogue Mage Druids in the past, is run the Feral Affinity and attack the healer. It could end up working out for them. Cloud9 switch gears off of defense to full offense. Can Sea-Doo keep dealing with the attacks? It looks like they're still quite far behind in terms of ice blocks, not having even gotten one from Wealthy Man yet. Gladiator Safeguard going to proc for Sea-Doo. Ends up getting shredded or worn off over time. Now Snuts is getting a lot of damage out. Cubsy's jumping in as well, and if three members of Cloud9 can connect, I'm not sure how much Sea-Doo, how much longer Sea-Doo can handle this.
Yep, Sea-Doo caught up in a Kidney Shot right there. Trill using his trinket there on a Cyclone, but getting immediately recycled. Now, Wealthy Man is in a lot of trouble. If Sea-Doo can get a couple of purges out while he's on DR, that could potentially net Method Orange a lot of pressure. Right now, Sea-Doo is on stun DR, so he's just tanking out Snuts' damage. Behind this pillar on the opposite side of the map. Chains of Ice doing a lot of work here onto Wealthy Man, making it difficult for him to connect, but Cubsy and Snuts, they might just stand up Sea-Doo and go for a solo play here. Sea-Doo just refusing to leave that Ghost Wolf form, as he knows it's guaranteed healing while he sits in that, while he is stunned. Snuts committing the Vendetta here. Sea-Doo might have to trade the Astral Shift.
I would be sitting that Ghost Wolf form too. I mean, at this point, Sea-Doo, he needs to try to stay in Ghost Wolf as long as possible. There's no damage on Mez. There's no damage on Trill. All Sea-Doo really has to do, throw in some Wind Shears, throw in some Grounding Totems, and stay in Ghost Wolf. Survive as long as he possibly can. Right now, Method Orange looking like they just left the gates with Sea-Doo's mana. I mean, it's literally 100%. Whereas Cubsy, he's had to use quite a bit. He's down to 60%. Trill looking to get aggressive right now with Serenity, but using it on Snuts. Grapple weapon on Snuts. Good split pressure here from Method Orange. Trill taking a little bit of damage as well, but it just seems like right now Method Orange terms of pressure, they have a lead.
I hope Sea-Doo prepared the cellar because it's tornado season here with Cloud9 going straight for him. Sea-Doo anticipating an attack, activating the Astral Shift, although not lined up with Vendetta, and that's a big opening for Snuts in about 58 seconds. So Sea-Doo's read there going to be punished, getting baited a bit on this attack. I am wondering if Method Orange should switch targets and stop going after Wealthy Man if this is the strategy that Cloud9 are looking to employ. The Feral Affinity of Cubsy is getting way too much value. Sea-Doo's so far behind the Earthen Wall Totem, it needs to be enough, but it may not be. Sea-Doo's going to try and retreat away, and it does appear to be the case that Method Orange are switching targets, going after Snuts much more as a priority to try and protect Sea-Doo. If they can get them off Sea-Doo and allow him to utilize those purges, that's going to enable Method Orange a lot more potential to win the match.
Yeah, that unfortunate Paralyze broke right there. They were trying to go for that Paralyze Capacitator Totem combo we were talking about a little bit earlier. Sea-Doo now in a lot of trouble here. Bash, but it's DR. Cubsy might still force out the Spirit. Actually, he doesn't have Spirit Link Totem. Sea-Doo might just go down here in a lot of trouble, exiting the Anti-Magic Zone's defense, and Cloud9 tying up the series 2-2.
Advantage for Cleave, but it's also got large enough pillars that it's going to really help Sea-Doo sort of kite around with that Ghost Wolf. And I think what the main objective is for him as in Trill, first and foremost, if Cubsy's getting a little ahead of himself, just take him out of the game. Just delete him as fast as you possibly can. However, if that isn't the case, it is difficult for Wealthy Man to actually get on target in this map, especially with Mez using Death Grip and Chains of Ice, snaring him up. If Sea-Doo's just kiting around, it will be really difficult for him to get out significant damage. If
Robodrum doesn't end up working out in Cloud9 Advance, I still would love to see a Blades Edge Arena or a Blackrock Hold as a map attempt for the Windwalker Death Knight Shaman. I feel like those maps could also have good strategies for stacking up the Rogue Mage Druid. Here we see a blind with no Gladiator's Medallion. This is devastating. Cloud9 are mixing up their strategies and trying to catch Method Orange off guard in Game 5, but they're unable to get the sap because Trill grapple weapon Snuts, and you cannot sap while you are disarmed. That was beautifully done by Trill, denying the crowd control chain, and now Sea-Doo and Trill look to retreat away. This is the problem with the Robodrum, I believe, is that Wealthy Man can drag Mez pretty far away. Cubsy can spread out as well, and if they're not stacked up, it's very difficult for Method Orange to really attack any target.
Yeah, and right now Cubsy applying his bleeds here over onto Sea-Doo. He's in cat form. Here is a lot of damage. There it is. We're going to see what is Trill going to do. He's going to be going after Snuts here in this situation. Earthen Wall Totem is going to deflect that attack. Cubsy's going to be running away. Okay, Cubsy just trinketed right there. Trill has Touch of Death. Trill has Serenity. There is no defense whatsoever. They both have all trinkets, all breakers. I feel like this could be a big mistake from Cubsy. If they paralyze Cubsy, if Cubsy just goes to Sea-Doo right now and they paralyze him, he is a dead man walking. As long as that paralyze doesn't break and Trill gets his Touch of Death out in it, there is no way Cubsy survives that. No chance whatsoever. They just need to keep going after Snuts, get Cubsy to overcommit again in cat form like that, and that is it. That is lights out. So I want to see them do that, exactly that right now. Naz looking to interrupt Wealthy Man a little bit here. Nice CC chain over onto Sea-Doo.
Kill Cubsy.
A lot of trouble. Touch of Karma might be trading out.
Yeah, he's Touch of Karma. I want it on Cubsy. Kill Cubsy, but they're going after Snuts. Maybe they can take him down. Big burst damage potential, but if that had just been on Cubsy instead, I really feel like that's a massive missed opportunity here from Method Orange. And now Trill, he's in so much trouble. Fortifying Brew as well as this Battlemaster trade out, but the kidney shot lands from Snuts. Sea-Doo gets caught into the Rake Stun, trades out the Spearling Totem. Trill ultimately will survive, but that's off the back of quite a bit of defense from Method Orange.
Method Orange trying to kill Snuts here. Touch of Death about to explode. No Iron Bark available. Potential big push here. Vanishing the Touch of Death, immuning its damage. Beautifully done. Cloud9 had no other answer. Snuts adequately trading. Now Trill is in trouble. Sea-Doo's in crowd control. So is Mez. It's 3 versus 1. Trill trying to escape to safety. Diffuse magic to remove Gladiator's Maledict's absorption effect. A couple of Vivifies, but a couple of Vivifies may not be enough. Ring of Peace blocks one side. Snuts has to wrap around the other, but Wealthy Man is snaring him up. Sea-Doo is still in a clone. There's no Spirit Link Totem. Bash is going to be trinketed, but there's really not much remaining. Fist of Fury. Snuts gets stunned. Trill stays alive, but now Sea-Doo doesn't have Gladiator's Medallion for blind in the future, and Trill still has nothing to stay alive. This is not looking good for Method Orange.
Yeah, a lot of crowd control here. Sea-Doo again caught up in the polymorph, and C9 seems to have cracked the code here. Snuts using his every man for himself ratio to break out of that leg sweep. Trill is going to try to kite here. 6 seconds on that touch of karma. Can he get around the corner here? Vivifies are coming out. He activates the Serenity just to get more heals. Cubsy is literally standing there while Trill has Serenity active, just hitting him, doing tons of damage. And now Cubsy once again looking for that crowd control, jumping over onto Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo in that kidney shot. Cloud9 is just all over Method Orange right now.
It's got to be a world first, watching a Windwalker Monk activate Serenity to heal himself up. Definitely an interesting choice, but I mean, Trill does manage to survive. That was a really difficult situation for him to live, but off the back of good kiting, good ability usage with this Turbo Fist of Fury, his Ring of Peace, he does manage to hold on. And Method Orange, they're not out of it yet. Polymorph on Sea-Doo, now Mez looking to be the target, but with no dampening, I don't see Mez going down at this point unless they CC Sea-Doo basically forever. Anti-Magic Cell trades out by Mez. He's going to be all over Wealthy Man in this situation, but Mez is still not getting topped off. This is a little bit scary.
Is Gladiator Safeguard going to proc? Does Wealthy Man have a spell steal? Looks like he does. Mez is still in trouble. Icebound Fortitude fades. Sea-Doo maybe not ready for this much pressure on Mez. It's looking like a struggle for him to be able to recover. Stun Vendetta, big push here from Snuts. Cloud9 look to close it out. Sea-Doo is stunned. Cubsy switches over the Cyclone, wasn't able to get it. Unfortunate for Cloud9. Now Wealthy Man on the back foot. Finally, Method Orange able to connect some damage. They need to net Nice Block with this push, but they're not finding it. Big heals in from Cubsy. Iron Bark, is it going to be enough? Serenity doing a lot of pain. Mez trying to stay on target, but still being pushed back. If Mez is in this much trouble with no dampening, it's going to be dangerous for him moving forwards, so long as Cubsy can maintain a lot of mana.
Yeah, but now Trill, he's getting to play really aggressive in the matchup. There's no Temporal Shield. There's no Iron Bar. Cubsy gets interrupted. That's an Ice Block. That's overlapped with Gladiator Safeguard. And that is not a good situation for Cloud9 to find themselves in.
Yeah, and Sea-Doo just got his Trinket Spirit Link combo back there as well. So Sea-Doo has all of his defense. Trill has his Touch of Karma. Mez is the only target here for Method Orange. Really looking like he's going to be in trouble. Mez now in a kidney shot, but he should be okay for now. Blind comes out from Snuts. Sea-Doo trinkets out of that one. Sea-Doo caught up in a counter spell for a couple of more seconds. Trill in a polymorph. Dispels the polymorph. Snuts now in an asphyxiate stun here. And I want to see Trill and Mez get back on target here. They're back over onto Wealthy Man. They have a mana win condition here as well. Cubsy deflecting with the Iron Bark, trading it out for that Fortifying Brew Touch of Death combo. A lot of damage. Sea-Doo spamming up.
Oh!
Big hit there from the Touch of Death. A lot of cooldowns forced out here. That was the Iron Bark as well as the Ice Block coming out of C9.
We're going to need a Touch of Death counter for how hard that one just hit. Wealthy Man stays alive, but it costs him potentially his final ice. It is going to be the final Ice Block of the games if Cloud9 end up losing. Mana is not looking good, and Method Orange, suddenly they're stable. The game was totally out of their control for the first 5 minutes, but they have been in complete control for the last minute and a half, and it may be that minute and a half that is all that matters. Snuts is desperate. He's trying to go after Sea-Doo, but Wealthy Man has no Ice Blocks. I don't think he's going to be able to support. Cubsy has very limited mana. He needs to try and drink, but I don't think he's going to get the chance to. Trill using Diffuse Magic to break crowd control and try and get uptime. Cubsy stunning up Mez, trying to help Wealthy Man, but Mez disrupts it. Snuts is still trying to kill Sea-Doo, but not really finding any pressure there. Cubsy gets a stun. Wealthy Man locked down. No Serenity, fortunately, but Cubsy Iron Barks anyway. Now that's a big opening for Trill in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking good. That Touch of Death actually hit for almost 100,000 for Trill, so it's definitely a massive wombo combo with the Fortifying Brew, with the Battle Masters, and now Wealthy Man finds himself in a situation where he does not have an Ice Block for quite some time. Cubsy's almost completely tapped on mana. Cloud9 looking to reverse the pressure, trying to abuse Mez and dampening, but I'm not sure it's going to work out. I feel like Wealthy Man's in so much trouble.
Yeah, and now all they need to do is connect over to Wealthy Man. This could be the final push. Sea-Doo, can you purge off the Temporal Shield? He's trying. He gets it. Sea-Doo keeps spamming out those purges. This could be Method Orange. Final push for the win here. Cubsy has barely any mana left. Sea-Doo has every cooldown to trade. Honestly, I just want to see Sea-Doo activate the Astral Shift and just spam
Serenity!
out the purge. Serenity comes out. This could be it.
Yeah, Wealthy Man in so much trouble. It's getting low. Massive damage from Mez and Trill as Wealthy Man gets the Shimmer and survives. Cubsy with no mana tops him off. Unbelievable, but Trill still has the touch of death. He's got the wombo combo available. Can Wealthy Man survive 100,000 touch of death? We're going to find out.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Method Orange are about to do the impossible. They are about to defeat Rogue Mage. Huge touch of death, even though Trill is in a blind. Cubsy does manage to stay alive. Trill blind saps Sea-Doo in a poly. Cloud9 going after Mez, now in dampening. Mez could be a liability. Sea-Doo is still crowd control. Mez breaks out. He knows that it's do or die. Sea-Doo needs to spend the last bit of his mana purging. This is it. They have to do the all-in while Cubsy is stunned into the paralysis. They have the perfect situation, the perfect storm to take out Cloud9. Just a couple more purges from Sea-Doo. He's got barely enough mana to do it. Trying to work through the temp shield. Temp shield now over. Ironbark's defense is looking limited at 25% dampening. Mez should just trinket this, in my opinion. Trill stunned up. Why is he not trinketing the Cyclone? The game is basically over. They have to kill him in this push. They're not going to be able to now. Wealthy Man retreating away.
Yeah, Wealthy Man's running. He's trying to hide. What can they get done? Method Orange are looking to make a push. Still have the Serenity, but still, Wealthy Man survives. Really good kiting.
I feel like Mez should have just used anti-magic shell there, and Trill should have just trinketed aggressively. Now comes out the touch of karma before the kidney shot. Nicely done right there, but Wealthy Man is recovering. Ice block on a 45-second CD. He has temporal shield. Cubsy has his Iron Bark again. They can't afford to drag on the game for too long. Method Orange is letting the game pass through their grasp. They need to connect onto Wealthy Man. Sea-Doo loving out the lava burst. Cubsy taking quite a bit of damage here as well, just passively from that Fist of Fury. Trill in a lot of trouble here. Sea-Doo doesn't have the Spirit Link totem. How are you going to keep him alive, Sea-Doo? Snuts with the kidney shot onto Sea-Doo. Do they have any follow-up? Beautiful leg sweep. Trill is looking to claim the game, and he does it.
He does it, but is it enough? Trill's still low.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine.
He's
okay.
It looks like he's okay. Well, Method Orange. I mean, surely they've done it, right? They have anti-magic zone. They have everything in the tank. I mean, they're going to play it out. I don't blame them.
I definitely can't blame them in this situation, but it looks like Trill's going to be healthy. He's got the touch of karma coming for 25 seconds. Yep. Sea-Doo's going to be able to keep him alive, and that is such.
Allows Wealthy Man to secure polymorphs on him and get the pressure going onto Jamili or Roasties.
Yeah, well, a lot of us weren't expecting Cloud9 to be down in the lower bracket, similarly to what Method Black struggled with earlier. Method Black did come back, though, to win the European Cup, and here Cloud9 with a match against M2KC for the right to rematch Method Orange later today.
I'm going to need someone to run the math on this, but if M2KC make it to the finals, is there any hope for the move with Method Orange already there?
Yes, there is.
There will
be an 80-point gap between them and Method Orange.
There is still hope.
There is hope.
Blind right now onto Cubsy as he is sitting through it. No sap, bit unfortunate there for M2KC, but despite not getting the sap, they managed to pull the Gladiator Safeguard, a very important defensive trinket out of the way from Wealthy Man's arsenal, along with the Iron Bark and the Temp Shield. So these sort of minor cooldowns out of the way of the cycle. The next attack is looking for a major cooldown, being one of the ice blocks. Right now, though, Jamili needs to survive. Rubcub sitting through crowd control, but now out. Avenging Crusader active. Rubcub going to be doing a lot of damage and healing during this time. Snuts trying to pursue through it with the Vendetta. I'm not the biggest fan of this Vendetta. There's no crowd control on Rubcub. He has Avenging Crusader up. It seems a bit strange to go for the Vendetta now.
Yeah, Jamili.
Whoa!
Jamili getting denied on that Ring of Frost there, but they get the ice block anyway from Wealthy Man. That was a lot of damage from that Vendetta that we didn't like.
Well, no, from Snuts' Vendetta.
Oh.
Roasty's Vendetta is fine. Snuts' Vendetta on Jamili while Rubcub wasn't crowd control is what made no sense to me.
All right, well, it looks like Wealthy Man will be trading out his first ice block. Jamili is able to hold on to his still in this match. And M2KC, they're playing it a little bit less aggressive. Jamili's not pushing in as much for crowd control. Rubcub's just sort of sitting by the pillar. He doesn't want to overexpose himself, but as soon as he does, this is what happens. Wealthy Man sneaks in a polymorph. We really need to see either Jamili or Roasties ready for a kick when Rubcub is going to be pushing in. Full Hammer of Justice secured on Cubsy. Wealthy Man gets interrupted. Still trying to get the damage rolling. Jamili gets topped off in that moment. Snuts was looking to make an offensive push, but that got denied by just the sheer amount of healing Rubcub has.
All right, let's see if M2KC can get another setup. Cubsy's repositioning. He needs to be very far away from Rubcub, so you can see he's a diagonal line opposite pillar from Rubcub. Rubcub's actually mounting up He knows that he needs to get there ASAP, but Roasties gets stunned into a smoke bomb. Close call for Roasties. His Gladiator Safeguard had procced as well as the Cloak of Shadows. RubCub continues marching forward, but Cubsy's in stealth. He has to come out. Is he going to get the hammer before he gets bashed? No, Cubsy gets it first, but RubCub decides to break it and go for it. This could be an ice block if they can secure the Ring of Frost, and they do so. Perfect crowd control by Jamili. Ice block will be forced, and a significant lead built for M2KC.
M2KC are on fire right now, and honestly, Cubsy there, he had a lot of time to pre-Iron Mark that setup. Instead, he opted for shape-shifting so that he could deny the polymorph, so he allows his team to only shut down the Ring of Frost. Unfortunately for them, Jamili was able to secure that Ring of Frost anyway, and that was the reason why Wealthyman had to use that ice block. Cubsy has to avoid RubCub, but he can't just sit in stealth as well, because all of a sudden, Wealthyman is going to be in big trouble. Here's another kidney shot. There is the preemptive Iron Bark, and Cubsy, they don't have nicely blinded there. Jamili actually blocks out of that blind to secure the polymorph. This could be the game-winning play here. If RubCub can get a couple of swings with his hammer, that should be it. Cubsy, though, trinkets out of a polymorph. This means that Roasties can blind sap Cubsy later on and set up a kill onto Wealthy Man. New Kitty Cat's looking very good right now.
Yeah, but Jamili with no ice block, he's going to be vulnerable. RubCub has the Divine Shield to keep him alive. Jamili's almost reset his combustion by spamming out the fireballs as well. Wealthy Man in a lot of trouble. If Roasties can land the crowd control, look at Cubsy. He's doing a great job line of sighting at this point. Roasty's going to get Nova. They know exactly what they want to do. They're actually just going after Cubsy. All in. What are they going to be able to do? Combustion gets traded out. Cubsy in so much trouble. Barkskin gets used, but he manages to escape. Wealthy Man with a nice spell steal, removing that combustion from Jamili, denies a lot of the incoming damage, and unfortunately for M2KC, they really didn't get much from that setup.
Cloud9 survived the swap, but no Gladiator's Medallion, no ice blocks. It's looking like it's going to be very dangerous for Cloud9. We're 30 seconds away from dampening, but Jamili using that ice block earlier could be an opening for Cloud9 to try and take. RubCub securing crowd control. Wealthy Man could be in trouble. He tries to intercept RubCub with a polymorph as well. Both healers in crowd control, but RubCub comes out first, which means Wealthy Man's going to be in more trouble. He spell steals a Blessing of Protection. It gets spell stolen back, and now Wealthy Man is exposed, but they can't get the follow-up. There's the full blind, no trinket, but there's no spell steal for the Gladiator Safeguard. They're going to have to break through it, and they can't. Roasties is in a polymorph. He can't connect. Cubsy's going to sit through the blind totally fine, I think. Potentially not if the damage is still there. Roasty shadow stepping in. RubCub moving across, looking for potentially a reset on the Hammer of Justice. He needs to get a stun as soon as possible before the Gladiator's Medallion. If he can get a Hammer of Justice any second now, Wealthy Man will fall. Maybe he doesn't even need it. This is insane damage right now. RubCub going to use Sacrifice to break crowd control and get on target. Looking for that hammer, laying down the law, laying down the smack here in game one. M2KC race against the temporal clock. Can they kill Wealthy Man before it goes off? It doesn't even heal for anything. If we see the Iron Bark active, is that even going to be enough? M2KC dealing devastating damage, but Cloud9 deny.
Snuts is the only reason why Wealthy Man is still alive here. Jamili, unfortunately, missing that Ring of Frost there as well means that Cubsy should still be able to keep him alive.
Oh my.
Okay.
He's just going to go down to this sheer pressure.
It wasn't even combustion.
Cubsy actually had a little...
Solveron Arena, the second map choice here. M2KC, I mean, I wouldn't have expected it. Apparently, Venruki would have, but no one else was really expecting Cloud9 to be out of the tournament, potentially, before that grand final.
Yeah, well, Venruki, there's still a couple of games left. If Cloud9 has anything to say on it, they sure would like to stay here. I know Diablos, they definitely looked good too earlier on in Europe, but we all saw how that ended, you know, with me dual wielding some comms. So we're going to see Wealthy Man here making his way in, trying to get a rogue out with that Blizzard. Not going to be able to find it just yet. Both teams kind of just being a little bit cautious right now. Snuts, though, going to be opening up the game with that first punch.
If M2KC win this, I'm taking both your combs, just so you know.
You get one of them.
I'm going to take both.
If you were right about both regions.
Yeah, you weren't right in Europe.
Yeah.
That's the only problem.
You get one comb.
All right, well, I'll take
Top
it.
negotiating.
Yeah, well, let's see what they can get done. Wealthy Man now, not too much damage early on. That was a combustion, and they didn't really have to trade much. I guess I did trade Cubsy's trinket. I didn't see if Roasties did trade blind, but I'm expecting that he did. But now that Cubsy has no trinket, the next Ring of Frost could be really scary. I mean, Roasties, he still has the Vendetta. There's a lot of offense available for M2KC. They just need the crowd control. But it seems like on these large maps, it becomes difficult for the Rogue Mage. Paladin, Cubsy position. Look at how far away he is. He's not making it easy for RubCub to chase across the map and land these Hammer of Justice.
RubCub, though, sneaking across, going for the double Divine Steed, securing a Hammer of Justice, and this is where M2KC need to do some damage. They're looking for an ice block, but not able to find it. Unfortunate there for M2KC. Wealthy Man will stabilize. Now Rubcup in crowd control, although not chained together. A bit of a missed opportunity from Cloud9. Now the Avenging Crusader going to get maximum value from Rubcup. Cubsy trying to push forward and get crowd control for the team, but Bash only is not nearly going to be enough. Cyclone is, though. Jamili in trouble. Temp Shield rolling. Will it be enough before the Cauterize triggers? Looks like they are going to buy enough time. Temp Shield stabilizes Jamili.
Beautiful stuff there. I actually wanted to see Roasties try to get the sap out of that Hammer of Justice onto Cubsy. It's just one of those plays that you are going to have to make sometimes on a map like this. But this is what I kind of want to see from M2KC as well. Go behind the pillar. If Snuts overextends, try to Dragon's Breath him into a sheep. And then all of a sudden, you can set up a kill onto Snuts. And that's going to force Cubsy to move away from that super defensive positioning, because you really don't want Rubcup to cross the map, because when he does, then Wealthy Man can start spamming out the polymorphs. Nice kick there from Roasties, though. He's going to allow Rubcup to cross the map here. Jamili gets the sheep onto Snuts, and now Cubsy, preemptive Iron Bark, Kleptomania from Jamili. Wealthy Man, where's your counter Kleptomania? He doesn't have it. He's playing normal normal spell steal, I believe, so he can strip some of those freedoms, but that means that Jamili can go for those big Kleptomania pushes.
I think he actually does have it. He tried to take off Jamili's combustion, and Jamili just stole it back. I think is what happened there. Wealthy Man taking some pressure. There's a polymorph on Cubsy. He's got no trinket into a Dragon's Breath. Snuts looking to shut down some damage, keep Wealthy Man nice and healthy. Jamili looks for the Ring of Frost. Not going to be able to find it. Rubcup in a polymorph. This could easily be ice block from Jamili. Doesn't overlap it with the Cauterize. Really important here for M2KC. Good plays, but right now it just seems like Cloud9 on the Mage Race is way ahead.
Yeah, Cloud9 with a target adaptation here. Jamili's in a lot of trouble. It's obviously their map selection, as you would expect this to be favored. M2KC are desperate, and they're trying to go after Cubsy. Can they gun him down in time before Jamili is taken out is now the question. Tons of damage from Jamili. Cubsy refusing to trade on very low health. Does finally make the exchange of the Iron Bar, catching a big heal. Rubcup now in a polymorph. Jamili in trouble if he's not able to escape to safety. Snuts shadow steps in. Jamili drops a desperation Ring of Frost to lock Snuts in place, hopefully, as he tries to make his escape around the corner. Rubcup finally out of polymorph. Jamili has stabilized. Snuts unable to connect. Roasties continuing the push onto Cubsy, looking to get Barkskin with this stun, and they do get it. Now with no Gladiator's Medallion and no Barkskin, maybe they just outright kill him if they got the hammer. Hammer of Justice is now secured. Are you running the Guardian Affinity, Cubsy? Will you be able to recover if you aren't? Barely ducking around the corner, but M2KC seem to not care. It's kill Cubsy or lose the game at this point.
That is the vendetta of Roasties. If they can reconnect here, it's going to be big trouble for him. Roasties has the Blessing of Freedom sprint combo, but he's going to abandon that chase. Cubs is doing a great job there, surviving. And honestly, that Cyclone over onto Roasties, if he got interrupted by something like a Dragon's Breath there, that would have been lights out for him. So calculated place there from Cubs, keeping him alive on that restoration journey. Now Rubcup looking for the Hammer of Justice. A lot of pressure over onto Wealthy Man. Jamili going for the Ring of Frost, gets interrupted by Wealthy Man. Nice counter spell. Smokebomb as well gets dropped here by Snuts. Rubcup in a polymorph. Cubsy looking to get the Cyclone here, but it's overlapped with the polymorph, unfortunately, for C9. Wealthy Man gets the re-polymorph, but Cubsy can't go for the Cyclone because he is afraid for his life right now.
Yeah, Cubsy's sitting that blind. He knows if he trinkets out, they are going to go after him once again. He does not want to be an exposed target, so he sits through the blind. Now, Cubsy's going to be able to, effectively hold his trinket, stay alive. M2KC swaps from now on aren't going to be nearly as devastating. Wealthy Man still has both his ice blocks. He's looking good. Jamili still has 2 minutes, but he's playing really defensive. He kind of knows. I mean, at this point, Jamili doesn't want to get over-aggressive. He doesn't really have a large safety net to keep him alive. Rubcup pushes in for the Hammer of Justice. Jamili just focusing on putting out pressure, but he's in a kidney shot. Big damage incoming. Kleptomania Spell Steal comes in. Wealthy Man, does he have his Spell Steal available? It doesn't look like it just yet. Jamili should be fine with the Blessing of Protection, with the Temporal Shield. Rubcup going to be able to keep him alive in a prime position to just spam out heals, but the pressure from Wealthy Man and Snuts has been quite immense in this game. Jamili on the back foot, he's getting low. Sacrifice has to be traded out by Rubcup, and this is a great offensive push.
You're still down 2 ice blocks. Cubsy has all of his defense available if you're M2KC at this point. I mean, maybe you try to run Cubsy out of mana with pressure. Other than that, I don't know what you can do, and you're not going to run him out of mana if he's drinking. Is Cubsy going to get any mana with this? I think that he's going to. Roasties is polymorphed. He can't help. Rubcup is crowd controlled. He can't stop it. And Jamili is dead if he tries to. Temp Shield activates. Jamili stays alive through the crowd control, but Cubsy got a bit of mana back. It looks like Snuts is trying to set up some silences onto both Rubcup and Jamili. Wealthyman not able to get there for the spell steal on the Divine Favor. Roasty's keeping him at bay for the time being. M2KC sitting here with a moment of pause, trying to assess the situation. What's their best line? Perhaps it is killing Snuts behind the pillar if he's overextended this much. Wealthyman blinking over, connecting some damage onto Jamili along with Snuts. Looking desperately to close this game out as dampening continues to rise. But if M2KC can just even hold this position, look how much mana Cubsy has used in this small amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. Cubsy, he's going to have to keep looking for drinks, but the map certainly allows it. I think he's actually sitting down for a drink right now, somewhere far, and Wealthyman has a lot of crowd control here onto Roasty, so he should be able to recover that mana in this situation. Snuts now taking a little bit of damage, but he has his Cloak of Shadows. He has everything, and Cubsy's going to come back with a full mana bar. They have every CD here in the game left on the side of C9, but the Mew Mew Kitty Cats aren't in too bad of a spot right now. Aside from mana, they also have every cooldown working for them. Now Jamili trading out his every man for himself racial, and it's so hard for the Mew Mew Kitty Cats to find an opening here onto Cloud9. They just have to keep going for these plays on the mage. Wealthyman taking quite a bit of damage here. Snuts getting polymorphed up, and Cubsy is going to be able to redispel that. And unfortunately, because there's no Druid on the side of Mew Mew Kitty Cats, that means Snuts, when he comes out of those polys, he just has free uptime here. And every single time he kidney shots, last time it was every man for himself. This time it's going to be the Blessing of Protection for Snuts Vendetta actually as well.
Yeah, I think that's a fair trade. I mean, at this point, Rubcup doesn't want to have to use unnecessary mana, so the Vendetta comes in, he just trades out the Blessing of Protection immediately to immune that damage. Rubcup moves forward, he's looking for the Hammer of Justice. Cubsy actually gets a re-stealth. Cubsy completely outplayed Rubcup in that situation. Unfortunately for Rubcup, Cubsy was able to escape, and now Rubcup sitting in the full blind. It is looking like Cloud9 wants to get aggressive. Jamili a little bit low, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Rubcup who uses the Avenging Wrath to keep his team alive. Cubsy still playing a little bit of a dance here with Rubcup. The Hammer of Justice finally lands. Nicely done by Rubcup as he makes the look and offensive push with the Gladiator's Maledict.
All right, let's see what they can get done with this push now. 24% into dampening. Jamili is trying to secure crowd control, but he misses the Ring of Frost. Now Cubsy will be able to heal, although maybe not. The dampening is quite high, so he's struggling. Regrowth after regrowth, not really stabilizing entirely. Divine Favor bounces Jamili back into the fight. Vendetta being crowd controlled on Roasties with Polymorph and Cyclone. Beautifully done there by Cloud9, removing that powerful cooldown. Jamili trying to recover. Snuts is a bit reluctant to overextend behind the pillar, just trying to make sure that Rubcup doesn't drink. Cubsy's mana management towards the later stage of this match are certainly going to be part of the reason why his team finds victory. Jamili still being pressured. I'm just wondering if you're M2KC, what's your plan? Who's your target? Everyone right now still has so much defense remaining. It just seems like M2KC, their only plan right now is to stall.
I feel like the play to make has got to be on Cubsy. You have to go after Cubsy somehow. He's making it very, very difficult for them though, but if Jamili somehow can secure, oh, there it is, an ice block, full sheep onto Rubcup, Kleptomania by Wealthyman, and there's the Divine Favor. Jamili's taking quite a bit of damage, but if they can connect over onto Cubsy, that would be the ideal play to make. Wealthyman in a lot of trouble, going to be forced out and using his ice block, polymorph from the Snuts, full Ring of Frost onto Cubsy. There is an opening for the Mew Mew Kitty Cats, another polymorph onto Snuts, triple DR polymorph. Wealthyman exits the ice block here to try to secure the counterspell, but blind comes out from Roasties. Cubsy has no trinket. There is an opening here for Mew Mew Kitty Cats. If Jamili can get a Dragon's Breath into a ring onto Cubsy, that would allow the entire team of Mew Mew Kitty Cats connecting onto Cubsy, and they can erase him from the map. It's easier said than done though. Rubcup has a lot of work to do here as he uses his last bit of mana with that Avenging Crusader and that Ultimate Sacrifice.
Yeah, they're looking to make an offensive push. Wealthyman polymorphing up Jamili. They kind of realizes that they can just survive this Avenging Crusader. Rubcup's got nothing. He's got no mana. He's got no Ultimate Sacrifice. They're going to be in a prime position. Jamili with no ice block as well. Wealthyman just has to hold on. A meteor lands. Jamili getting a little bit low. One Gladiator's Maledict lands. Wealthyman, this could easily be a second ice block, and they're literally just killing Wealthyman with a Hammer of Justice. It's just Hammer of Justice on Cubsy with a Gladiator's Maledict, but it looks like Jamili could easily fall. Temporal Shield as well. as his cauterized proc. I think Jamili should be able to survive. RubCub using the Divine Shield to get out of blind, but RubCub just has no mana. I think Snuts at this point is just going to be able to solo him. Cloud9 take advantage of the big map. Exceptionally well played, but yeah, I mean, I can understand it though. It really feels like for M2KC, their win condition is damage. Like, they need to really be putting Cloud9 on the back foot. So I can understand Jamili wanting to use, you know, more offensive trinkets. That's kind of what he's known for. I mean, he kind of throws caution to the wind in a lot of matchups. In the last game, there has been actually a few times today where I've been surprised. It seems like M2KC, they really have been, you know, opting for more of a defensive posture. Right now, Jamili, he gets caught in a Garrote Silence. Cubsy in a Hammer of Justice into a full blind. He's sitting the blind, doesn't want to trinket out on the small map. That's going to be the Combustion, and that's Cubsy's cue. He's going to trade out his trinket. Once Combustion gets used, that's the major offensive cooldown for M2KC. Cubsy can comfortably trade out his trinket, keep Wealthy Man alive, help him hold on to his ice block, and I think that was really patient play there by Cubsy. Well done.
Oh, it's only one cooldown, though. Perhaps in the future he will be in trouble with Avenging Crusader and Vendetta. Cubsy counterspell. Beautiful offense here from M2KC. Smokebomb going to be dropped by Roasties. Vendetta popped, and surely this is going to be an ice block. Wealthy Man's trying to blink away and hold on to it, but that Gladiator Safeguard is going to get totally erased, and ice block will have to be traded, and you can already see the small map advantage to M2KC.
Yeah, a lot of damage here. Good opener for M2KC, and Cubsy also doesn't have his trinket. He has to be very, very careful in this situation to not get deleted here by M2KC. Wealthy Man as well, a consistent target for them to go after. Snuts is dipping in and out behind the pillar, building up his combo points, looking to secure a kidney shot. Roasty's now in a polymorph. Presumably, Cubsy's going to try to get a Cyclone. Not able to find it right now. Now, RubCub pushing in. This is the setup. Kidney shot onto Wealthy Man. Cubsy, preemptive Iron Bark. Nicely done.
And looks like Cubsy in the crowd control. Is Jamili going to be able to find the Ring of Frost? Unfortunately, not able to. Wealthy Man should be able to hold on. The Iron Bark really making him durable in the situation. Another offensive push here by Cloud9. Jamili in some trouble. Temporal Shield's rolling. RubCub caught in crowd control, but the Temporal Shield bounces Jamili back up. Massive heal incoming, well timed. Divine Favor now lands, and that will stabilize M2KC. Cubsy now kidney shot. They're going all in. But Wealthy Man, he gets off the Combustion. Jamili takes it back. Cubsy's still in so much trouble, Sid.
Cubsy still in so much trouble. Gladiator Safeguard going to be taken off, and he does manage to recover, jumping to Wealthy Man. Roasty's not going to keep chasing, instead switching to Wealthy Man. He's still down one block blind. No, it's on diminishing return. Big mistake by Roasties. That could have been potentially an ice block if that blind was used just a few seconds later.
Big mistake from Roasties, and also I gotta commend Wealthy Man. And whenever they do those pushes on the side of M2KC, he has to immediately try to use his Kleptomania to get rid of that Combustion, because that forces Jamili to either Kleptomania his Combustion back or allow Cubsy to survive with that Gladiator Safeguard, because he won't have his Kleptomania for that, as Klepto puts his spell seal on a 30-second cooldown. So Wealthy Man definitely doing a good job here, keeping his Druid alive in that situation. But now Wealthy Man on the back foot. There's the Hammer of Justice. No Iron Bark available. Jamili going for the Ring of Frost. Secures it. Wealthy Man, what are you going to do? This is surely an ice block or a trinket. Cubsy actually trading out the trinket in this situation. I actually like that trade, since Roasties essentially wasted his blind. It should line up with it pretty nicely.
Yeah, looks like Jamili, he had really good positioning there. RubCub got caught into a polymorph. Jamili got out of line of sight, activated the Temporal Shield before the kidney shot. Really well played. Blessing Protection now coming in from RubCub. That's going to help keep him alive. Wealthy Man can't really take it off, because like we kind of talked about, if he uses his Kleptomania, guess what? Jamili takes it back. He gets all those heal over time effects. Cubsy with the Iron Bark keeps Wealthy Man alive. There's the bash onto RubCub. Is there a polymorph? Wealthy Man finds it, and now Jamili in some trouble, but he has Snuts and a polymorph behind the pillar. Snuts gets out. Jamili's still trying to keep himself alive. He's hiding behind the pillar. He does not want Wealthy Man to be able to assist Snuts with that kidney shot damage. He has to wait till RubCub's out of crowd control.
All right, let's see if they can keep it going here. Cubsy with no Gladiator's Medallion. Blind going to be up here shortly. RubCub trying to stabilize, trading Divine Shield to avoid crowd control, but even still not able to top off Jamili. Roasties, when is that blind going to be available? They need to net an ice block with it. or maybe even just potentially kill Cubsy in the near future. RubCub anticipating damage here, activating the sacrifice, going for the Hammer of Justice. M2KC looking to secure game-winning crowd control. Ring of Frost has landed. Wealthy Man gonna pop Temporal Shield to absorb all of the damage while his healer is crowd controlled and hopefully buy enough time for it to go off, but its healing effect not too significant. Sap out of the chain into the Dragon's Breath. Gladiator Safeguard gets absolutely destroyed, and M2KC pushing through for the final point of damage to get an Ice Block, and they do manage to do so, overlapped with the Iron Bark, and suddenly Cloud9's defense is totally blown out.
Beautiful setup here from M2KC. They secured the Polymorph on Snuts, they secured the Ring of Frost, and now they also are going to have a full blind here. If Roasties is quick with the trigger here, there it is onto RubCub. He's going to use his Blessing of Protection to get out of that one. Roasties, where is your blind onto Cubsy? And there it is, Kidney Shot on Jamili. Cubsy gets blinded, trinkets out of that one. Now M2KC are one setup away from securing the match over onto Wealthy Man. So Wealthy Man, what are you going to do about this? He needs to have good defense for himself. He needs to shut down the setup. Snuts needs to commit his Cloak of Shadows to avoid getting crowd control. Jamili now forced into his own Ice Block here as we see Cloud9 turning up their heat.
Yeah, this is a very back and forth game. Cubsy has the Iron Bark for the combustion of Jamili, but RubCub's still in the Polymorph. Rose is in a Cyclone. Control in favor of Cloud9. Jamili trying to survive. He's trying to run away. RubCub finally gets there for a big Holy Light. Smokebomb drops out. Nicely played by Snuts. If this is the Cauterize, it's going to be massive. Wealthy Man throwing in some damage. Interrupt now secured by Jamili onto Cubsy. Snuts trades out his Cloak of Shadows, and maybe Snuts could be a good target. He's got no Cloak. He's got no Vanish. Maybe M2KC decide to put their attention there, but no. They're still going after Wealthy Man, but I'm not sure. Wealthy Man's looking really healthy in this position.
All right, let's see if they can hold out and finish M2KC on the small map. If they can, they'll get the swing match advantage and be solid to advance in this series. Beautiful preemptive read by RubCub, allowing his team a little bit of time to keep pushing forward for the final Ice Block. They need to swing off of this momentum and get it right now. They're not finding their sticking point. They aren't able to push through and get the block. Cubsy's in a position very far away from RubCub. He's trying to close that gap, mounting up across, looking for the Hammer. Can he find it? Cubsy preempts the Hammer with the Iron Bark, and now Jamili will be the one in trouble. If any crowd control is landed onto RubCub, this is easily going to be the end of the game. Roasty stalls by stunning Wealthy Man, but now Roasty's his Cyclone. Wealthy Man blinks in for the game-winning Poly. Jamili denies it for a moment. Cubsy gets potentially the game-winning Cyclone instead. Jamili is isolated. He Dragon's Breath Snuts to buy a couple of seconds, pops the Temporal on top of the Safeguard, and he needs that to be enough while RubCub gets through the crowd control, and RubCub does finally manage to do so. Jamili sneaks in with a Poly. That Polymorph could be just enough for M2KC to get a block, happening very high at this point. Temporal Shield may not be enough. The Gladiator's Maledict going to absorb some of its healing, a lot of its healing, basically the entirety of it. They are forced to desperately blind Roasties to hold his vendetta at bay.
Yeah, that was a really nice defensive blind by Snuts, and this is what Helix was talking about in the pregame, but they might get the Ice Block regardless. Once again, overlapped here with the Ice Block, and now they don't have the blind either. RubCub actually had no breakers out of that one, so that was their win condition. Jamili has the combustion. Either team one setup away from potentially securing the game. Snuts is going to go first. Full Cyclone onto Roasties. Jamili trinkets out of the Kidney Shot. RubCub with the Divine Favor heal is going to stabilize Jamili. Temporal Shield is active. The defensive blind onto Snuts. I don't like that play. Now Cubsy can trinket out of that next Ring of Frost and keep his mage going here. No punish going to be available for that. RubCub now in a full Polymorph. Wealthy Man looking to be the one punishing here. Snuts catches Jamili in a full Kidney Shot. RubCub with a defensive Hammer of Justice. What is M2KC doing here? Their offense is just completely faltering.
Yeah, it's completely falling apart. Ultimate Sacrifice comes in from RubCub. Jamili's going to be low. He's not getting topped off. RubCub can't heal him in this position. Cubsy gets interrupted. Wealthy Man taking a little bit of damage. Keep in mind, Wealthy Man, he still has no Ice Block. He's in some trouble as well. If Cubsy gets caught in any crowd control, I mean, Cubsy has no mana. Wealthy Man could easily fall in this situation. M2KC with just raw damage could win the game. They used a lot of their offense defensively. Wealthy Man still just rotting down low. He's barely holding on. Snuts trying to take Jamili down, puts him in a Kidney Shot. Cubsy doing everything he can to keep Wealthy Man alive, sitting down for a drink, but if he gets denied, I think Wealthy Man's going to easily fall, but he's getting away with it potentially. I don't know if he can really recover. Smokebomb drops in by Snuts. Nicely done, denying any damage Jamili can put out. Spellsteal comes in. That's going to be enough for Jamili to survive, and Wealthy Man once again on the back foot.
Most importantly, I think the smoke bomb stopped Jamili from spell stealing the Blessing of Protection back, keeping Wealthy Man alive for a second longer, but that second is now over. RubCub laying down the hammer once again here in game number 3, advancing to match point.
The last couple of weeks, is it going to be tested here by M2KC, or moreover, is it going to be tested to the brink, to the breaking point, to the point where M2KC and Method Orange are the 2 teams in the grand final?
All right, let's see if the Mew Mew Kitty Cats can keep Vindruki's prediction alive and also keep their potential summer final dreams on the alive as the point standings are so close in the North American region. They would love to get a first place finish. They managed to get at least 1 cup in their pocket, but if they get 2, that's certainly going to seal a spot for them in the summer finals. RubCub casually sitting through a blind. That is not good for Cloud9 initially. If M2KC can now reverse crowd control, RubCub closes the gap, secures the hammer. Wealthy Man's going to be taking a lot of damage potentially if he can't avoid Roasties, who has the Blessing of Freedom active, so he cannot be snared. Roasties is going to get a lot of uptime. RubCub moving over to support the team as well with some judgments. 1 second left on this Ring of Frost, gets sapped out by Roasties. They're committing for an all-out assault. They break through the Gladiator safeguard and they get the first ice block. All aggression all the time from M2KC.
Cubsy actually leapt through that Ring of Frost. I think Jamili may have missed it, and Cubsy actually just jumped into it. That was really unfortunate. And now, Cloud9, they're on the back foot. I mean, M2KC, they're looking good. They still got Vendetta. They still got Smokebomb. There's the full blind on Cubsy. Wealthy Man going to be in some trouble.
Yep, full blind. Roasties has the Vendetta active, and Cubsy doesn't want to trinket out of this one. Hammer of Justice. Cubsy trinkets out of that one, but this is still a lot of pressure. Might have to trade out his Iron Bark as well here to stabilize Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man is looking good for now. Activating his Frozen Orb over onto Jamili. Nice cyclone onto Roasties. Cubsy now finally looking to make some offensive plays here. Gets Dragon's Breath on it, but it's DR. Jamili, what is he going to do? He's Kidney Shot. RubCub in a Cyclone. Can't break out. He's spamming that Hand of Sacrifice, and he gets it in between the gap there. You hate to see that.
Cubsy counterspelled, an opportunity for M2KC to try and net the second ice block from Wealthy Men before the 2-minute mark. That would be devastating. This is supposed to be Cloud9 territory on these large maps, but RubCub is just constantly keeping Cubsy under pressure, staying right on top of him. Hammer Justice secured, and M2KC continue pushing, but RubCub's Polymer, he can't add in any damage. Jamili is being pressured. He can't really add in any damage, and Iron Bar from Cubsy should be enough due to the stalling crowd control of Cloud9. Jamili now potentially in trouble. His Temporal about to go off and heal him, but maybe not for a significant amount. Big Comet Storm by Wealthy Man. He's crashing in. Divine Favor heal. RubCub stabilizing Jamili. Another counterspell on Cubsy. An opportunity for M2KC once again to push for the second block.
Nice Klepto right there. Wealthy Man, Klepto's Jamili. Jamili immediately klepted back right before he got stunned there, allowing himself to keep some of that defense. Double Ring of Frost by Jamili. This is 100% an ice block from Wealthy Man. There is no way he's not going to have to ice block here. RubCub has the Hammer of Justice. Roasties, there we go. Ice block secured. Nice Maledict there as well. And Roasties can keep this chain going for a little bit longer. They have the Hammer of Justice. Snut's caught up in a Frost Nova. Wealthy Man's ice block. And this is going to be an Iron Bark for sure from Cubsy to survive this situation here. Wealthy Man taking a lot of damage, but Cubsy's trying to hold it. RubCub gets blinded up on the Divine Favor heal, and I think Cubsy can actually hold on to it with that greed. Nice DR Cyclone here onto Roasties. Should allow Wealthy Man to stabilize for now, but it's Jamili on the back foot.
Yeah, Jamili running away. He's trying to line of sight Wealthy Man. Big burst though with this Icy Veins, with the Comet Storm. Cyclone comes in, a little bit of a mistiming there on that Temporal Shield. Jamili does manage to get a little bit of that healing. Now Jamili in a little bit of trouble still. RubCub needs to try to keep him alive. Full blind on Cubsy. He trinkets out. Kidney Shot on Wealthy Man. Looks like Roasty's trying to set up his team. He's got the Vendetta. Cubsy trying desperately to hold on to the Iron Bark for as long as possible. In the meantime, Cloud9, they forced Jamili into that ice block. It wasn't overlapped with Cauterize, so they still have that available, but they're managing to continue the crowd control chain. Jamili's still in some trouble. If they get Cauterized, this is going to be big for Cloud9.
Avenging Crusader up for RubCub. He's going to be doing a lot of extra damage. If they can crowd control Cubsy at the same time, might be lights out for Cloud9. RubCub's charging in. There's the hammer. Jamili is still low, though. Cubsy pre-reads the stun in Iron Barks. It needs to be enough, but will it? It should be, with Wealthy Man polymorphing RubCub, removing his damage from the fight, perfectly timed. But the crowd control continues from Jamili as well, with the Dragon's Breath to follow up. Big Pyro Blast coming in. Gladiator Safeguard, where's the Spell Steal? Doesn't look like Jamili's going to go for the spell steal in this position. Wealthy Man maintains with his shield. Now Cloud9 look to counterattack. Rubcub cycloned and Jamili in trouble. This could be the sacrifice from Rubcub. They're trying to hold on to it as long as they can, and they do manage to for now. Temporal ticking him back to full. No Iron Bark for 9. Cold Snap in a minute. Cloud9 needs to stall.
Both mages right now, no counterspells available, so that means a setup could be secured here. Not really any stops here for Rubcub. He gets Hammer of Justice, Sheep onto Snuts, Ring of Frost, Kidney Shot onto Wealthy Man. It looks good. This could be the game, Sid.
This could be the game as all 3 members of M2KC connect, but the chain gets dropped. Cubsy connects a couple of heals, potentially stabilizing the team for the counterattack. Full blind on Rubcub. Divine Shield available, and he's going to have to decide when to commit it, to chain it together with the Blessing of Sacrifice. I feel like it's almost necessary at this point, but Jamili's not in line of sight. He blinks out of line of sight. Rubcub manages to get there just in time, sacrificing Jamili on very low health.
Yeah. Cubsy actually manages to find the Cyclone, so Rubcub's not going to be able to top him off. Now Rubcub very susceptible to crowd control. Full blind on Cubsy. Roasty's looking to set up his team. There's the full kidney shot. Wealthy Man in some trouble. He's got 15 seconds left on his ice block. M2KC know it. They want to push through. They want to take him down. Can they do it? Wealthy Man is so low. Overwhelming damage, but a massive temporal shield keeps Wealthy Man alive. He's got 3 seconds on his ice block. He bought himself enough time. Such a close call for Wealthy Man, but he manages to hold on. Now Rubcub uses the Avenging Crusader, wants to try to top off Jamili and keep his team aggressive.
Unbelievable. Wealthy Man, he was 1% HP right there. Could have easily gone down and secured the series here for M2KC, but they're still in the game. Wealthy Man, though, gonna have 2 ice blocks in about 30 seconds, so it's looking good. They need to start firing on their pressure over onto Cubsy here. Cubsy running around the pillar. Wealthy Man, Rubcub gets the Hammer of Justice. Wealthy Man taking a lot of damage from this Vendetta, and it just looks like they might brute force it here. They forced out the ice block, and more importantly, that was the Cold Snap ice block. Wealthy Man had about 10 or 15 seconds left on his actual ice block to come back off cooldown, so M2KC can still go after this mage here. Had that setup happened a little bit later, that would have been big trouble here for M2KC.
Both teams running out of cooldowns, dampening, getting up very high, and this is looking difficult for both sides. This isn't guaranteed for Cloud9. I thought it would be more one-sided for them, but M2KC are just constantly keeping up their aggression. Rubcub moves in for the stun, but gets clotheslined by Wealthy Man with the full polymorph. Jamili could be in trouble. Snuts with follow-up on the sap. Rubcub breaks it with Blessing of Protection, but now he can't use that on Jamili. He has to power through with heals. One big Holy Light. He needs another. He gets the second, but even that not looking like it's doing too much. Smokebomb from Snuts. It whiffs. Jamili blinks out. Frost Nova Snuts. Snuts cloaks out to stay on target. They know they have Jamili on the ropes with Rubcub in the blind. Tons of damage, but they don't have the chain. Rubcub gets the sacrifice. Jamili will stay alive, and now he can counterattack. If they crowd control Cubsy at all, Wealthy Man surely will go down. Snuts polymorph very far away. Cubsy tried to drink to regenerate mana. He's trying to come back to the fight 3 seconds behind without Iron Bark. Can he stabilize? Can he keep his team in the game? If Rubcub gets intercepted for this hammer, it could be game over for their team. He gets the hammer. Wealthy Man can easily fall, even with the Iron Bark active at 18%, but Wealthy Man blinks away, controlling Roasties. Now Jamili on the back foot. Avenging Crusader needs to be enough. One big judgment from Rubcub, bouncing Jamili back in the fight with the temp. And now look, Jamili, he's got another ice block. M2KC, they could still have this.
That was the every man for himself from Wealthy Man. Roasties just got his smoke bomb back. There's a blind over onto Cubsy. They could easily take down Wealthy Man with a smoke bomb. I think he's gonna go for it here. Let's see. Jamili didn't activate his combustion. I really wanted to see a smoke bomb play right there. No Iron Bark as well. I really think they could have just won the game at the back of that, but it might not matter. Ring of Frost fully secured. There is the Vendetta. There is the combustion. Wealthy Man, how are you going to survive here? 1% HP, and he is gonna go down. Disrespect smoke bomb from Roasties. M2KC is going to the
to you, Zico, sorry, wow, it's been a long day, I'm missing up my words. The Arcane Mage is in from Jamili, and this is something you were talking about a lot in the last series.
Yeah, I was talking about Arcane Mage, but I'm not sure if I like it that much here. I mean, it's a lot higher risk to play the Fire Mage, but in the same vein, I feel like the Arcane Mage is kind of just not really going to be able to do too much in this matchup. We're going to have to wait and see what they decide to do. It looks like they're going to be going after Trill. This
is also
Ness
Frost.
is a Frost DK as well. What is going on right now?
This is a very peculiar game number one from the respective teams. Arcane and Frost Death Knight, both specializations you don't see very often. There is no Restoration Druid either in the grand finals here for North America, so this is a matchup that we are going to be seeing for the first time. Trill using Fist of Fury to dodge Rosty's attacks as he looks to reconvene onto Jamili. Now, Jamili running Arcane means he gets a lot more blinks, and it is quite a lot. So potentially Mez anticipating some type of Arcane Mage there so he can run the Delirium build and increase the cooldown of the blink. I'm almost wondering if Method Orange saw the Arcane coming. Rubcup goes for the all-in, Blessing and Protection to remove Touch of Karma. Sea-Doo has to respect that trade and use the Spirit Link Totem. Method Orange are so far behind initially.
Yeah, and I don't know if I necessarily like the Frost Mage, although it will slow down some of that Arcane Mage mobility, but I'm still not convinced Mez is going to be able to solo down Jamili in this game like we saw him do to Wealthy Man. Rubcub, he's going to be able to hold on, at least initially, especially with that Avenging Crusader. Every time that procs, it's going to be a reset on Jamili's health as well as Rosty's, as we see right now, as they both bounce to full HP almost instantaneously. We really need to see Trill getting more aggressive onto Jamili in this matchup.
Triple leg sweep. Rubcup going to break out, pop the Avenging Crusader to counteract this Touch of Death. That Touch of Death was massive. Half of Jamili's health almost immediately gone after topping off. Rubcup now will struggle to stabilize, interrupted by Mez. Potentially the game-winning Mind Freeze as Jamili tries to blink to safety. Trill now on the back foot. How is he going to make his getaway? Earth and Wall Totem going to be placed by Sea-Doo. Trill going to use Fist of Fury to also pressure Roasties and sort of protect himself in this position. Sea-Doo now stunned. Crowd control continues. Potentially M2KC can close it out here. Sea-Doo is silenced. Roasties gets grapple weapon. Trill going to roll around the corner to stay alive. Flying Serpent Kick across the field as well. Roasties gets gripped away by Mez to support. Method Orange are pinned down.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here coming out of M2KC right now. They are in the lead. Sea-Doo gets counterspelled here. Trill in a lot of trouble here. No trinket. He has his Touch of Karma available. Might have to trade it out preemptively here. He's trying to dodge that kidney shot with the Fist of Fury, giving Sea-Doo a little bit of time to recover here. That Earthen Wall Totem, though, going to be fading. Jamili getting the blinding sheet from Mez there, interrupting his polymorph cast out of that Hammer of Justice. Beautifully done here by Mez on that Frost DK. Now you can see the pressure is going onto Trill here. Still going to have to activating his Touch of Karma over onto Roasties, and it feels like Method Orange are just in a real world of trouble right now as Trill activates his big Serenity here, looking to punch Jamili.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big problems for Sea-Doo in this matchup, and one of the good things about an Arcane Mage, is you can just spam Spell Steal consistently over and over and over. And that's going to be removing Riptide. That's going to be removing Earth Shield on Trill. So Sea-Doo's going to lose out on a lot of effective healing. This is one of the first times you look at Sea-Doo's mana in this match. It's already down to around 40%. He's having to cast quite a bit to actually keep Trill alive. So far, there hasn't been much pressure onto Jamili. Finally, a little bit of burst coming in, but he's going to be able to run away. You know, the fact that he has the Chrono Shift, which gives him sprint with the Blessing of Freedom, allows him a lot of mobility in this match.
One thing I do just quickly want to ask you, two Arcane Mages, is Jamili, it doesn't look like he's using the Temporal Shield, right? Is that something that he should be using? It feels like he's the one being tunneled.
He's using Netherwind Armor instead, which is frankly very, very weird. But maybe it will work out for him regardless. Jamili, you know, you can definitely outrange a lot of those purges. You're a very mobile class. You have that Chrono Shift. Every time he uses Barrage, he's going to be running around with 50% increased movement speed. And you can see him right now running very, very quickly. Now Trill kiting around the corners. Roasties gets the follow-up zap here. Do they have any more crowd control? Trill in big trouble. Triple DR Polymorph. Garrote Silence. Touch of Karma. Going to be saving the day here for Trill. But to what extent is this going to be working? I'm not sure. Trill, he can hold on for now, but Sea-Doo's mana, it's not looking great.
Close call after close call for Method Orange. They're desperate to try and get counter pressure here, stunning up both Rubcup and Roasties. Roasties the target of choice. Not much defense actually available for Rubcup. This could be a bit of a struggle for M2KC to recover recover. Dampening having now just kicked in. Hammer of Justice on Sea-Doo. Trill needs to try and kite away. Rolling to midfield, but gets Shadow Step kidney shot. Sea-Doo repositions, but Smokebomb line of sights him. Earthen Wall Totem going to be placed by Sea-Doo, reducing the damage significantly and allowing Method Orange to stabilize.
Yeah, and Jamili actually traded out his ice block there, so he has no ice block, although it's really difficult to take down an Arcane Mage for Mez and Trill. If they can get a big all-in with Touch of Death as well as Serenity, maybe they can take him down. RMPal doesn't have too many defensives. His mana's falling lower and lower in the match. RMPal might actually have to try to sneak away for a drink at some point in this match, but if Method Orange, they can stay on target, especially with the Frost Death Knight. I think there's still a chance they can take down Jamili. Without the Temp Shield, without an Ice Block, he is kind of vulnerable.
Yeah. Sea-Doo now trinketing out of that blind, and there is a bit of an opening here. No Temp Shield, no Blessing of Protection, and Hand of Sacrifice there for RMPal for a couple of more seconds. Roasty's taking a lot of damage here from that Fist of Fury, but Feint is going to be activated. Should be able to deflect most of that with that. Jamili now on that Arcane Mage, trying to dish out as much damage as possible here, casting out the Polymorphs. There's the Earthen Wall Totem from Sea-Doo. Method Orange should be fine for now, but like you mentioned, Maruki, RMPal might have to go and drink here. Shaman and Paladin both kind of tied for mana, but I do believe the Shaman is going to have the edge there when it comes to healing efficiency.
All right, let's see if they can pull it off here. The defense for Method Orange has rotated back and available. Most of the defense for M2KC as well. Things are evening out between these two teams in the grand finals for North America. They are so close, neck and neck on points in the standings. Being able to defeat the other would be a significant boost in the standings and potential qualifications for the summer finals. Trill once again on the run. Fist of Fury trying to parry the attacks of both Roasties and RMPal, but ultimately the Spirit Link Totem is required. Method Orange expending a significant amount of cooldowns. Trill now trying to counter-attack. Touch of Death along with Serenity is going to be a powerful hit. RMPal fully respecting that hit, using the Blessing of Sacrifice to redirect the damage to himself. Trill now in trouble once again. Sea-Doo is counterspell. Huge damage connects. RMPal looking to move in. Roasties on the left. RMPal on the right. There is nowhere to go. Trill. Ring of Peace gets dropped in desperation. Will it be enough? It is. It buys time for Sea-Doo to get the Earthen Wall Totem. Trill stays alive throughout another assault.
And Jamili's still looking for damage. He throws in the Gladiator's Maledict. Trill with no defensive cooldowns. He's in so much trouble. Sea-Doo's almost completely tapped on mana. The spell steal is really paying dividends here for Jamili. Roses gets disarmed. Trill in desperation, just trying to survive in this situation. Jamili pushing in, finds the Polymorph, and this is big trouble. Sea-Doo has his trinket, but he's got no Spirit Link Totem. Trill has to hold on another 13 seconds for his Touch of Karma. I don't know if RMPal has a Blessing of Protection available. It doesn't look like it, but Jamili's in some trouble. He might just fall. The over-aggression from Jamili could cost him the game, but no. M2KC, they're continuing their offensive push. Trill trades out the Touch of Karma on Jamili. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to block it in this situation. And now, Jamili on the back foot. He's going to be looking to retreat, try to create some space. Sea-Doo trinkets out of the blind, and now a big offensive push from Method Orange.
Serenity active from Trill. This could just be the game here. Jamili, what are you going to do? He is not going to do anything because Trill is going to take him down with that offensive block.
Facing it here.
Yep, well, we'll have to see how Game 2 does play out. We're going to find out who is a true cool Tyrann here as we head to Hook Point. It is a question for M2KC. You know, Jamili once again doesn't have the Temporal Shield selected as his talent. He's the person who went down in the last game, so if he goes down again, it's going to feel bad.
Let's just be honest. Temporal Shield is one of the best defensive talents it's literally one of the best defensive abilities in the entire game. Jamili died in the last game. I'm honestly kind of at a loss for words that he once again.
I think the only logic is that he's afraid of getting purged, but
who cares? It still gives you heals.
Roasty's stunned up along with RMPal. RMPal trying to recover without using too many cooldowns, pushing for a hammer. Jamili blinking for a poly, gets shut down, and Roasty's in trouble. RMPal already having to expend the Avenging Crusader and the Blessing of Sacrifice. Significant cooldowns forced as M2KC are dawdling initially with their crowd control.
This map pick is definitely backfiring on M2KC right now. Roasties, he's surviving there, but that was at the cost of the ultimate sacrifice from RMPal, the Avenging Crusader as well. Sea-Doo gets sheep shot right there. Jamili not going to be able to secure a polymorph just yet, but he is an Arcane Mage, which means that he can find them. Nice Mind Freeze from Mez, trailing a Smoke Bomb, ports out with that Transcendence, still has his Touch of Karma available, trying to cast out a few Vivifies, not going to be able to find it. Jamili hammering down with those spells, still beautiful kick there from Trill. What is this overlap method, Orange? Trill, he had a touch of karma, nice blessing of protection. Actually, I don't like that blessing of protection. They already got the Spirit Link, they already got the touch of karma. I feel like Method Orange already did a huge overlap there, and RubCub could have just easily saved those cooldowns for later.
I mean, let's see. Here's M2KC once again looking to make a push. Trill with no touch of karma. He's an exposed target. He's got the Serenity rolling up. Who's he going to go after? Roasty still has the evasion, touch of death, fortifying brew. Massive attempt here on RubCub. RubCub's going to be in a lot of trouble. What is he going to do to survive? If he gets caught in a stun, if he gets interrupted, could be lights out. This is a Serenity, massive one-shot potential for Method Orange, and that is going to be the Divine Shield. And this is potentially one of the problems with the Arcane Mages. You do not have good counter pressure. If Mez and Trill can stay on top of RubCub, they can easily take him down in a situation like this. This is actually a little bit scary for M2KC.
Small map is a double-edged sword, and it's starting to backfire on M2KC. They do make another push on towards Trill. Hammer of Justice on Seedy. Where's the follow-up? They need the polymorph. Jamili's not even bothering to go for it. Seedy going to wrap around the corner along with Trill, looking to catch a healing wave, but counterspell is up. Kick is up for Roasty. Seedy needs to be worried about a blink counterspell. He's trying to fake cast it. Jamili isn't falling for it. RubCub gets leg swept. We see Method Orange making another swap. RubCub with limited options here. Pops the Avenging Crusader. Trill tries to use Fist of Fury to parry the attacks. Mez stuns him up for another second, but I don't think they're going to be able to find the kill. Mez is trying to save Trill, dropping the anti-magic zone for the stun. This is the only thing keeping Trill alive, even for a couple of moments. They pop off the karma and immediately annihilate Trill. M2KC tying it up here in the grand finals.
Yeah, you can see that they won the last game, now looking to win the same. I'm surprised Method Orange went for the Frost Death Knight, but as Sid said, it does provide some tools, and we'll have to see if it's enough here in Game 3, best of 7 between these two teams for the grand final.
It just limits Jamili and his mobility. It makes it more of a 2 versus 2 between Trill, Seedy, Roasties, and RubCub. Mez can keep Jamili at bay. Roasty's going to charge in, immediately stunning 2 targets to try and support Jamili, but Mez is there. The Blinding Sheet is also some added utility from the Frost Death Knight, an area of effect crowd control that set them up well for a double leg sweep and certainly stopped the initial attack of M2KC in its tracks.
Yeah, beautiful opener here for Method Orange. They're going to force out the Everyman for himself there from RubCub, and that was the Serenity of Trill as well. And like you mentioned, Blinding Sheet is going to shut down that crowd control from Jamili, and it looks like he actually can't really kite right now. It looks like Mez and Trill are going to be able to have some uptime here, and once again, he's now running Temporal Shield. I feel like he's never going to run Temporal Shield in the rest of this series here, Van.
I mean, it's looking that way. If he didn't use it after game number 1, after dying, I think it's unlikely he does it again. He must have really not liked it against the Restoration Shaman. And, I mean, I don't even know if it ends up mattering in the matchup. I feel like it definitely could, though. I mean, if Jamili dies in this game, that could be the reason why. We'll see. Method Orange, they're going to be making a look at an offensive push, and I feel like I like this a lot more. In the last 2 games, Method Orange took such a defensive posturing, and I think with the fact that Mez is playing a Frost Death Knight really is going to limit Jamili's mobility, even though he's playing Arcane, Shimmer, Displacement. They go on such a long cooldown, and he doesn't have much defense. I mean, this is not looking good for M2KC. Jamili lacking a lot of defense. He's already used his Ice Block. RubCub, of course, he's got some, he's still got a lot of buttons he can help Jamili out with, but I think Mez and Trill, if they can stay on target, this is looking good for Method Orange.
Yeah, Method Orange looking solid here. The Frost Death Knight appears to have a place in the current meta. I was not expecting to see Restoration Shaman, Frost Death Knight, Windwalker with Serenity up against Arcane Assassin, Holy Paladin. This is definitely a treat for the North American Grand Finals of Summer Cup number 5. Seedy crowd control, Trill the target. How is he going to make his great escape? Mez trying to allow him to stay stationary in the anti-magic zone, but they are just crushing through it. They get the Fortifying Brew as well as the Diffuse Magic. Multiple defensives pulled out of Method Orange's lineup. Thankfully, though, Trill still has Touch of Death and Serenity in his back pocket, and at any point he can pull that out, and it's going to be a big hit.
And this is it. Triple leg sweep, Touch of Death. Massive damage over onto Jamili. He's trying to run, he's trying to hide, but there's still a Touch of Death rolling. RubCub trades out the Ultimate Sacrifice. It's actually not the Ultimate Sacrifice. They're still pressuring down Jamili in the matchup. Luckily, RubCub has massive heals to keep him alive, but if Mez and Trill can stay on target, this is scary for Jamili. He gets the Blessing of Freedom, Seedy not in a position to purge that off, and that's going to allow Jamili a little bit of space, a little bit of room to breathe.
Yeah, and that was like you mentioned, the Hand of Sacrifice there from RobCub. They have one more Hand of Protection here, but Roasty's taking a lot of damage here, but Trill realizing that there is an attempt on Sea-Doo to get him in crowd control. Mez, double blinding sheet. Trill porting away to safety, goes back into the fight now that the Hammer of Justice has been used, respecting that push from M2KC, and Jamili's gonna have to try to land a random polymorph. Sea-Doo getting out of a blind. Trill in a kidney shot here. Jamili trying to spam out the polymorph over onto Mez. Trill in a lot of trouble here. No touch of karma available. There's the leg sweep over onto Roasties. You want to be using that over onto Jamili, but instead Sea-Doo is going to be able to stabilize him without using the Spirit Link there. So not a bad trade defensively there from Trill, and it's going to allow Method Orange to stay in it and keep their Spirit Link.
All right, Method Orange, they stay in it. Man is starting to dwindle down. Only 4 minutes in. They need to start getting some counter pressure. Jamili with no ice block for 3 minutes. No Blessing Sacrifice for 39 seconds. If they can crowd control RubCub to get some bursts in, it would be great. RubCub's trying to utilize the big map for his own favor to sit down for a drink. Not able to find it. Sea-Doo snipes him. Although Sea-Doo's mana is still in the worst position at this point, although cooldown's better for sure. RubCub charges across, lands the Hammer of Justice. M2KC's turn to attack. Mez stalls with a grip into that blinding sheet. Jamili cannot polymorph while crowd controlled, and that allows Sea-Doo now to escape the chain. Trill looking to get on target. Touch of Death available in 5, 4, 3, 2, and as soon as it's up, I'd imagine that he wants to pull the trigger on it as soon as possible. Tiger's Lust to connect. Serenity available. Pillar of Frost rolling. Double leg sweep. Touch of Death immediately from Trill. Jamili trinkets. Pops a Prismatic Barrier. Double Frost Nova, but Trill still in pursuit. Big Rising Sun Kick. Fist of Fury. Touch of Death. Massive hit, but RubCub equally gigantic heal. Blessing of Sacrifice, although it's not ultimate. RubCub opting for the Blessed Hands for 2 Blessing of Protections in this matchup. There's still potential for Jamili to die through the Blessing of Sacrifice due to this scenario. RubCub's Divine Favor activates. He catches a big heal on that Holy Light. The Avenging Crusader, maximum value, and RubCub once again carrying through all of that huge damage.
Yeah, and Jamili will hold on as a result of that massive Holy Paladin healing. We're at 5 minutes and 23 seconds into the game. 3% dampening. Sea-Doo, he's managed to hold on to some mana, but M2KC, they've got a lot. I mean, Jamili's only 1 minute away from an Ice Block. Blessing of Protection gets traded out. Honestly, M2KC defensively, they're looking pretty good. Trill's forced defensively in this situation. Roasty's Blessing of Protection is going to be traded out on him. Trill really putting out some solid pressure as he's kind of running and hiding behind the pillar. I think Trill wants to wait for Touch of Death. He wants to wait for Serenity before trying to make a push on Jamili once again. But the problem is, the next time he pushes in, Jamili's going to have his Ice Block rotated back up. And they're giving M2KC some room to breathe in this matchup. And Mez on the Frost Death Knight really hasn't been able to put out that same kind of pressure we saw on the Unholy Death Knight in sort of 1v1 between him and the Mage.
Yeah, and this is Trill's Touch of Karma. Activates the Serenity as well. Big push on Jamili. No Ice Block available for a little bit longer. RubCub, how are you going to keep him alive? The Divine Favor is available. Sea-Doo not going to be able to find a purge on that one, but mana is tying up here, and Method Orange, they are looking like the ones that are going to come out ahead in terms of mana. Jamili needs to do a good job here, spell stealing all of these Earth Shields, all of these Riptides, and force Sea-Doo to cast out the heals. There's a full polymorph on Sea-Doo. Unfortunately, it breaks 2 Roasties damage there. I believe Roasty's now getting cleaved up a little bit. He still has his evasion though. He should be fine in this situation. RubCub with that Avenging Crusader is looking to try to take Trill down. Fortifying Brew active by Trill. Sea-Doo, what are you going to do? You have a lot of work for you. Potentially the Spirit Link is going to be forced out here. No, he's going to go for the Spirit Walker's Grace instead, immuning some of those interrupts. Trill now trinketing out of a stun, but still in big trouble here.
He's in massive trouble. I mean, Sea-Doo and Trill, they're trying to run, but Sea-Doo just can't recover. The spell steals from Jamili are really significant here. Jamili now just soloing down Mez, and keep in mind, as the game goes on, Mez is going to have a really difficult time keeping himself alive, especially being a Frost Death Knight. All 3 members of Method Orange in a little bit of trouble right now. Arcane Power available in around 40 seconds. As well as a Vendetta of Roasties coming up in 19. M2KC, they're looking to make a push. There's the full polymorph on Sea-Doo. Mez in trouble, Trill in trouble. He's got the Touch of Death rolling. Who's it on, though? No one's taking damage. Trill actually just going after RubCub. If they can get the Divine Shield, it's going to be big. Not sure they're going to be able to do it. RubCub just running. He's hiding with the Freedom. Roasty's trying to peel for him. Jamili trying to peel for him with counter pressure. But I think RubCub's going to be able to hold on, and now Trill has such a difficult decision to make. Is he going to trade out the Touch of Karma? The Touch of Death didn't get what he wanted, and this is looking better and better for M2KC. However, I mean, RubCub is kind of struggling to top his team off.
I feel like if you're M2KC, you start targeting Mez right now and try to kill him. Trill is able to live because he can portal so far away. Mez can't do that. M2KC now switching targets. Sea-Doo denies the kill with the Earthen Wall Totem and looks to try and drink. RubCub moves forward. Jamili blinks in. He's not going to be able to. Hammer of Justice lands. Jamili secures further crowd control. Mez could be in trouble. He realizes this. Activates the anti-magic zone to absorb some damage onto himself from Jamili, but Roasties doesn't really care about that defense. Likely we will need to see more from Mez here. Full blind. Sea-Doo trinkets. Now into a silence. Roasties trying to set up for the winner, at least for a big cooldown like the Icebound Fortitude. Sea-Doo going to respect this damage, trade out the Spirit Link Totem, answering the arcane power of Jamili. RubCub getting stunned up. Method Orange, they're desperate. They're trying to go for the healer of M2KC and put this game down to a race, but Avenging Crusader activates. RubCub going to be doing a lot of healing in the face of this push, as well as damage. Triple blinding sheet from Mez. He's trying to stall and get some extra single target damage over onto RubCub, but RubCub has Divine Shield. Mez now against the wall. He has Icebound Fortitude. He's going to press it on critically low health. Gladiator Safeguard gets spell stolen off. Icebound Fortitude's going to be fading shortly. Sea-Doo needs to connect that Earthen Wall Totem ASAP. He's choosing not to activate it just yet, holding on, but finally does have to. If we see them reposition out of the Earthen Wall Totem, I'm not sure if Sea-Doo can even stabilize Mez. 27% dampening. Counterspell in from Jamili. Roasty's looking to push forward. Mez ducking for cover with Chains of Ice on Roasty. Mez is actually marching forward despite all of the pressure. This is a tough call. Both teams are out of mana. How do they push forward?
RubCub is trying to outrange that death grip of Maz. Sea-Doo now is going to make sure that RubCub doesn't get a drink here. Sheep shot by Roasties, followed up by a full polymorph. Maz is in big trouble. Uses his trinket to get out of that one. Roasties has to trade his Cloak of Shadows. Trill, it's time to be aggressive here. Yeah, I want to see Trill just go after RubCub in this situation. They just used the kidney shot. Mez is the obvious target. They're going to grip in Jamili. Double blinding sheet into the double leg sweep. Jamili now had taken the brunt of the damage. This could be his ice block. Roasties, though, getting Cleave down here as well. Activates the feint. There is the Hand of Sacrifice. Sea-Doo and a Hammer of Justice. Jamili looking to close, and the M2KC is going to take game number 3 on Ashman's Fall.
Again here, with the comp, though, the meta has changed, and M2KC are still looking favorable in the series.
Maybe they're trying to tilt Jamili. They know how much Jamili hates Demon Hunter Death Knight, so they're getting desperate. They don't really know what comp to play, so like, how can we just set Jamili off and maybe try and win off of that? That's certainly maybe potentially on the table. Perhaps they do plan on training RubCub. I do believe, I agree with you, Adrian. Demon Hunter can excel at killing a Paladin. Death Knight with good support as well in those necrotic strikes, but M2KC look like they're actually just going to try and kill Sea-Doo. How effective is this with the arcane specialization, Zika?
Well, they can do a lot of damage over in Sea-Doo. I mean, they can just keep spamming Purge on him, and it's all going to be about Roastie's uptime, but it's a very aggressive strategy, and if Sea-Doo can kind of survive for a long time, then all of a sudden Method Orange are going to have a very obvious win condition here. Right now, Sea-Doo is doing a good job here, holding on to Renewal. He traded out his Barkskin and his Iron Bark, and now he had to Trinket out as well, actually. Sea-Doo is not looking great right now. Next kidney shot could be big trouble, could potentially be the Renewal. 2 more kidney shots, he could easily go down here, and in M2KC, they have all of their offense still available. Arcane Power is going to be rotating up for Jamili easily by then as well, so good opener for M2KC so far.
I like this. Just go after RubCub in the match. I mean, we kind of wanted to see them just ignore Jamili. Mez is going to be sitting on him a little bit, but if Trill can consistently land these mana rifts, it's not going to be looking too bad, although Sea-Doo's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Kidney shot over onto him, and Jamili, of course, is just going to be spamming out Spell Steal. It's going to be difficult to stay alive. What is Sea-Doo going to do? Iron Bark comes in. He's already traded out his Trinket. Doesn't want to have to use the Bark Skin also. He is spec'd into a Renewal, so I think Sea-Doo was a little bit expecting this in the matchup. But look, Trill in a Polymorph. Mez was caught in a Frost Nova. It's a 3v1 situation. And Sea-Doo, this is going to be a real struggle for him to handle this kind of pressure.
Yeah, Jamili's got a lot more mobility. He can get in line of sight very easily. He's going to be spamming Spell Steals as well. This is going to be difficult for Sea-Doo to survive. You just got to hold on. If Trill can keep landing these mana rifts, they can burn RubCub out of mana, and at that point, limit his ability to heal incredibly and likely find victory. Although mana is surprisingly even with the mana rift strategy, mostly because Trill is getting left behind every time Sea-Doo tries to run away. Oh no, Sea-Doo gets caught out of bear form in a kidney shot. Mez is there to save him by stunning Roasties at least to stall some of the pressure. Trill rolling on in to counter pressure. Roasties dangerously low. Focus Shadows, he blows his entire defensive lineup there. A bit of a panic attack for Roasties during that push.
Sea-Doo actually makes it out here from a very strange situation that he was in. He wouldn't have his bark skin, he wouldn't have the renewal, nothing for that Vendetta. Now Smokebomb attempt over onto Trill. Sea-Doo reads it with a preemptive Iron Bark. Trill might just go down through it. Really strips off the safeguard. RubCub is looking for the Hammer of Justice. He finds it. Trill, I think he's playing reverse magic. He's not going to be able to use it in this situation. Gonna hold on to it for the polymorph. Nicely done there by Trill. He should be able to stabilize in this situation with that metamorphosis healing. And now RubCub is the one on the back foot. There we go. Method Orange with the mana rift right there. But Trill in another kidney shot. Big trouble here, man.
Uh-oh, Trill could just easily fall. He's in so much trouble. Sea-Doo can't keep him alive. Darkness, anti-magic zone, everything overlapped. Method Orange hangs on by the skin of their teeth, but unfortunately, that was every single cooldown they had available. Finally, Sea-Doo has the Iron Bark. He trades that out. It might as well, right, at this point. RubCub's in some trouble, though, caught into a bash. Mana Rift's starting to pay dividends for Trill, but he has to stay alive. He's in a lot of trouble. He's got to run, but it is difficult to run and escape from an Arcane Mage.
Roastie's low on health here, as well as RubCub. This is going to be difficult for RubCub to recover. Sea-Doo gets sapped. Beautiful play by Roasties, but unfortunately no damage during that crowd control, so not going to be capitalized on whatsoever. And Trill now in Metamorphosis is doing a lot of healing with that leech effect. Unlikely that we see him go down. RubCub in trouble, goes for the Divine Favor on very low health. It may have the Divine Shield as well. He manages to hold on to it. Avenging Crusader, big attack here from RubCub, potentially the last counter attack of the match if he has dwindled down on mana any further. Sea-Doo going to respect this push, activating Iron Bark. Trill going to stabilize, looking to counter attack RubCub. RubCub doesn't care as long as he's got the Avenger Crusader, but now he's stunned up. Mana Rift, I-Beam. I-Beam interrupted instantly by Roasties, trying to slow down some of the damage towards RubCub, but that mana bar is slowly but surely going down to 0 for RubCub. Trill stunned up once again, and M2KC continue to counterattack.
Beautiful stuff here from Method Orange, holding on by a thread at this point in the game, but at what cost? Sea-Doo has no CDs here. They do have the reverse magic and Trill's Trinket. That's going to have to be the next trade they make, and then after that, anti-magic zone is rotating back up, so Method Orange not in the worst spot right now. There it is. Nice mana rift here over onto RubCub. His mana's dropping dangerously low. I actually would have liked to see him use that Divine Shield perhaps there, but Trill caught up in a kidney shot. This should have been the Trinket and that reverse magic. No polymorph to follow that up, though. Sea-Doo did shapeshift that, and as an Arcane Mage, you don't necessarily want to be running that Ring of Frost. Instead, you want to run that Chrono Shift, which is what Jamili is running right now. Whenever he uses Arcane Barrage, he gets a big speed up buff, and he's trying to get those polymorphs out here with RubCub. He's going to have to use his Divine Shield for sure next time he gets stunned up here. Trill is looking to land it. Divine Favor. He's going to connect Trill in a big kidney shot here. Big trouble. This is the Vendetta.
This is a lot of damage on Trill. RubCub has managed to hold on with massive heals. Sea-Doo in a Hammer of Justice, and Trill in so much trouble. RubCub getting low at the same time. What is he going to do? Gladiator Safeguard procs. He's running, he's hiding. Trill's getting low. Sea-Doo has to play catch up, but Jamili snipes and interrupt. Nice counter spell. Trill still running and hiding, but Jamili with the Arcane Missiles keeping up the pressure. Roasties, RubCub, they're all over him. Smokebomb gets dropped out. Roasties lands the cheap shot, keeping him locked down. Sea-Doo with no mana. RubCub with no mana. This game could easily go either way.
One thing going in favor for M2KC is that Vision of Perfection on RubCub. He can just proc Avenging Crusader. How much mana does Sea-Doo get? The tiniest bit, maybe enough to extend this all the way to finish it. RubCub stunned up thanks to the reverse magic of Trill. Now in a bit of trouble. Divine Favor, if he gets dispelled on it, it could be over. He doesn't get dispelled on it. Big heal from RubCub. He's going to be A-OK. Avenging Crusader procking. Iron Bark from Sea-Doo. Will it be enough here? Dampening starting to ramp up. Trill gets instantly interrupted by Roasties once again on that I-Beam. Very important to limit that damage output from Trill. RubCub has Gladiator's Maledict stacked up on him very high. Doesn't look like he has the mana to dispel it. It's looking like he's likely to go down.
Shield.
Why did he use Blessing of Protection over Divine Shield? He's just going to die to the magic damage. Big mistake by RubCub. Method Orange tied up.
Yeah, and I really like the DHDK. Pressure is really on them in this situation. They're behind M2KC on points. If they win this, they will have 100 points on the move at the end of this weekend, I do believe. So everything to play for the side. And I mean, if they can all in here on M2KC with a Holy Paladin kill, I think that would be really good.
My last rank 1 title, and it was a while ago, so it's sort of hard to remember. It was Arcane Moonkin Holy Priest. I'm a dampener.
Okay,
I play random comps.
No.
I make the specs that
whatever makes you happy,
work. I make them work and I dampen people. Trill getting all into this game by M2KC, immediately popping off the Karma. Any Magic Zone trades as well. It might not be enough. Sea-Doo trinkets into a stun. M2KC once again with all-out aggression.
Yeah, massive damage on Trill. What are you going to do? Sea-Doo trades out the Spirit Link Totem, as well as this trinket. That's massive defense overlap. Trill used the Fortifying Brew, but they're looking to go for Rub Cub. I like the strategy. They need to get aggressive. Rub Cub, he used the Blessing and Protection. I think it might have been on himself as well, so this touch of death is going to hit hard. But Trill is barely holding on. Sea-Doo trying to get in line of sight, but Roasty's chasing him down. Evasive maneuvers from Trill. Paralysis on Roasty's. Trill still running. He's trying to hide. And he does manage to escape. Vivifies behind the pillar. Probably going to relay his Transcendence at this position. Maybe. No, he's just looking to run and hide. Sea-Doo stabilizing. Method Orange going to stay alive, and Rubcup didn't have to make too much of a trade.
Okay, so let's assess the situation here for a second. Method Orange, that was a bad start. They traded out their entire defensive arsenal. I'm not sure why Sea-Doo canceled that heal right there, but it seems like Trill is going to be fine for now. Trill has nothing for a couple of more seconds. Hammer of Justice. Trill is going to have to start immediately running if Mez can't shut this down. Nice Ring of Peace. Trill with the fade away Ring of Peace right there secures the stop there over onto Sea-Doo's polymorph there. So nicely done. But as I was saying, they got the Hand of Protection. They got Rubcub's every man for himself. So these are small victories. Now Trill needs to go in, pop that Serenity, force out another cooldown from Rubcub, and then start running again. Exactly the way he just did, but preferably on a little bit higher HP. That was a heart attack to all Method Orange fans.
I mean, that's twice now Trill has lived at 1% against M2KC. This could easily already be over in the grand finals. Definitely a tiny bit of luck. Obviously a lot of skill, but a tiny bit of luck from Method Orange here. Trill holding on barely. Touch of Karma going to trade here onto Rubcup. Roasties is low on health. Rubcup has to make a decision, activating the Avenging Crusader, trying to counter pressure and heal his team back up, but he is the target. Method Orange have decided to try and end this game much more quickly, but they can't. Trill is going to retreat away. They are going to respect the Avenging Crusader, cool down the damage increasing effect, try and avoid Rubcub while it's active, but Trill gets stunned behind the pillar. Rubcub moves in for potentially the game-winning added damage. Roasties continues the chain for Jamili to follow up. Earthen Wall Totem is going to be fading shortly for Sea-Doo, and with it the added defense. Sap out of the polymorph by Roasties. Vendetta available, but grapple weapon from Trill is slowing down Roasties' attacks. Jamili's Arcane Missile's not going to be denting Trill as he hides around the corner. Jamili blinking in once again. Mana still even here, 3 minutes in.
Yeah, and that was the polymorph on Sea-Doo now. He's on diminishing return, so I want to see an attempt on Rubcub, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing right here. Rubcub trades away with his Gladiator's Medallion, actually. He swapped off that Relentless, but he's trying to fake us those kicks. Huge touch of death, and that's going to be the trinket as well as the bubble. Sea-Doo gets polymorph. Trill is already on the run on the opposite side of the map. Mez trying to back him up with those Chains of Ice, waiting for that Hand of Freedom. Stuns up Roasties right there, and there it is. Chains of Ice over onto Roasties. No Hand of Freedom available. Trill kiting back to Sea-Doo, soaks up the counterspell. Sea-Doo should be able to stabilize Trill in this situation. Yep. And now they're looking to pounce back over onto Rubcub. This is the exact strategy that I wanted to see from Method Orange.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. If you can use the Touch of Death to get the Divine Shield as well as the Blessing of Protection, then all of a sudden you have a free Touch of Karma. But M2KC, they're still kind of keeping Trill on the back foot. He's got the Touch of Death coming up in a minute, Serenity in a minute as well. So there is a huge damage potential here for Method Orange. They just have to hold on. They're continuing the pressure. Rubcup taking massive damage into a full leg sweep. He's got no trinket. Blessing of Protection comes in. Sea-Doo can't purge it though. He's in a Ring of Frost. Now it's Trill on the back foot. Anti-Magic Zone drops out. Trill using Fist of Fury to parry Roasty's incoming attacks, but now in a full kidney shot. But I think the crowd control is going to fade. Sea-Doo's sitting the blind. He decides to shrink it out. Does he have Spirit Link? He does. Is he going to drop it out? Looks like he will. It's a fair trade. RubCub now, he's in a lot of trouble. Once this damage comes up for Trill, I really don't know what RubCub's going to be able to do.
Vendetta is still rolling. Roasties has a lot of damage here. How is Sea-Doo going to heal through it? Trill's on the run. Sea-Doo trying to keep up. RubCub moving in, looking to secure potentially Hammer Justice. He fake casts the grounding totem, kills it off, and secures the stun. But Roasties can't connect. Mez is keeping Roasties at bay. Trill is going to line of sight Jamili while Sea-Doo sits through the crowd control. Once again, great evasive maneuvers, but it might be all for naught. Trill is playing out of his mind to stay alive, but when we get another 3 minutes into dampening, they're just going to switch to Mez. And Mez is not as nimble in his older years on this Death Knight comparatively to the young gun Trill. He's not going to be able to escape to safely as easily, so it may all be for naught. Method Orange need to find a kill before dampening gets too high.
Yeah, but if they decide to go for Maz, that means that Trill gets free reign. RobCub has to use his every man for himself. Trill's still gonna connect. There is the Serenity, Touch of Death, huge damage. Trill can just solo RobCub here, force out the Hand of Protection potentially. A couple of more seconds for that Avenging Crusader. RobCub's trying to hold on. There's the Hand of Freedom. Sea-Doo gets Ring of Frosted there by Jamili. Mez activating that anti-magic shell, trying to survive the situation. RobCub with that Avenging Crusader should be okay. Mez in big trouble, which means Trill has to be really aggressive. Grapple weapon comes out. RobCub in huge trouble still. Might have to use that Hand of Protection, and there it is on the asphyxiate.
Need a purge.
Here comes the purges from Sea-Doo, but he has a lot of catch-up to do.
Yeah, Mez is really low. Can they take him down? How's he going to keep himself alive? He's got the anti-magic, so the smoke bomb drops down. There's just no heals. Polymorph snuck in there by Jamili, and M2KC take Mez down. I like the strategy, Adam.
Straight up to number 2 in the North American standings. They will tie the boys. So very big potential for a team that has been a bit up and down, but M2KC, they are still having to win 2 more games. 1 more game here against Method Orange. Method Orange have looked good on this Demon Hunter Death Knight throughout multiple seasons, and I wouldn't put it past this going to a Game 7.
Even if Method Orange don't win this series, they're still winners in my books for finally being able to find a composition that beats Rogue Mage Druid. We were all just sitting here thinking there's nothing. I mean, we've tried so much. We've seen every team bashing their heads against it, but Method Orange took out Cloud9. They kind of beat their demons with that win because Cloud9 has had their number almost the entire year. Certainly an achievement there, even if they don't manage to take down M2KC. Not to count them out, they did find victory with this composition on the Robodrome. Definitely capable of finding victory on Dalaran Sewers. Trill the target early on for M2KC. They're not going for that all-out aggression on Sea-Doo like we saw earlier, and Trill did take an enormous amount of damage in that game, and he barely survived, so definitely like this from M2KC.
I'm not sure if I like this strategy. I want to see them go after Sea-Doo and just spam CC, both Trill and Mez with the Frost Novas, with the Polymorph spam, and that way they will out-attrition Method Orange, but potential for Method Orange here to snag out some big cooldowns onto RobCub. There's a nice Chaos Nova, going to be trinketed by RobCub with his human racial right there, and he's still not out of it yet. Going to duck down, use that Divine Favor, get a big heal. Sea-Doo now trinketing the blind. This is prime positioning for M2KC. They also forced that Trill trinket with that Smoke Bomb. Here we go with the Hammer of Justice. Do they have anything to follow it up? They're not playing the Ring of Frost like I mentioned earlier. Jamili is not going to be running that talent in general in any of these matches as the Arcane Mage, as he needs that Chrono Shift to speed himself up. Roasty's activating the Vendetta here, looking for Trill.
Yeah, and big damage coming in. RubCub could actually be in a little bit of trouble right now. He may have overstayed his welcome. Mez trying to just solo him down. Trill caught in a kitty shot. Decent burst damage coming in from Jamili and Roasties. Jamili trying to find a polymorph on Sea-Doo, unable to find one, as Sea-Doo will be able to defend himself with the travel form. Jamili sneaks in a counterspell. Sea-Doo moving forward, trying to secure some crowd control on Jamili. Actually was able to stop his evocation with that bash. And if Jamili isn't careful with his mana, he will get to a point where he actually can't spam out the spell steals, and that's an opportunity for Method Orange to sort of recover. But so far, it looks like they're going to be healthy. I mean, Trill, he's in a kidney shot right now, but with no crowd control on Sea-Doo, he's looking like he's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, Jamili spamming out a lot of arcane blasts onto Trill there, but not finding too much damage. It's a decent amount. Trill doesn't seem to care. He's going to jump in on top of RubCub, land the double stun combo with the Mana Rift, try and burst him down for a kill. RubCub reverses with Avenging Crusader active. He's going to be doing a lot more damage, but his healing is not looking too effective. having to use the Divine Shield on top of it. This is looking like a solid win, potentially for Method Orange.
Yeah, Method Orange are actually in a really good position here. I want to see M2KC go after Sea-Doo, try to just crowd control the melees here, because right now they're falling behind on the race. RubCub already using so many of his different cooldowns right there. Hand of Freedom going to be forced here from RubCub. He should be fine. Trill gets caught up in a kidney shot with the Arcane Power. Mez going to be trading out the Anti-Magic Zone for that. Trill still has his Darkness. Sea-Doo has his Trinket for the Blind. Sea-Doo is also running the essence that gives him mana back. So mana should be looking good here for Method Orange if they can keep these mana rifts landing over onto RubCub.
And RubCub tried to sneak away for a drink, but it's just such a difficult task, especially against an Unholy Death Knight like Mez, who's able to just put his Ghoul on him. You can see the Ghoul chasing RubCub down. Now Jamili actually making a swap over onto Mez, and normally the Death Knight is super hard to take down, but we saw Mez fall in the last game. Sea-Doo on the Restoration Druid should be able to keep him alive. RubCub charging in. He's made himself a very vulnerable target. Trill's just ripping in with Mez. RubCub might be able to survive here, but he's using a lot of mana. He needs to try to run. He needs to try to hide for just a little bit longer. Mez and Trill, if they can stay on target, RubCub will fall. We need to start seeing some peels from Rosies and Jamili. Finally, a polymorph onto Trill. Kidney shot on Mez. RubCub able to semi-stabilize, but he's caught in a stun. He's still not out of it yet.
Yeah, RubCub on the run. Can he escape to safety, catching a Holy Light? Avenging Crusader activating. Should be easily stabilizing as a result, but how much longer can he keep going? His mana is not looking too good. The defense for Method Orange is still quite a lot. I mean, M2KC, one of their other main win conditions could be killing Mez in dampening. That's definitely been the main strategy for Rogue Mage in general with these Death Knight Druid teams, is to just stay alive, put some aggression out, and then kill the Death Knight deeper into dampening. But RubCub's mana isn't looking good enough to make it. Beautiful Dispel on the Divine Favor into the interrupt. RubCub having to respect that play, trade out the Blessing of Protection, along with the Gladiator Safeguard. He's looking like he is going to stabilize, desperately trying to counterattack Mez. Sea-Doo moves in with Iron Bark, and that should be enough for Mez to stay aggressive.
Yeah, and that was Mez's Icebound Fortitude, Sea-Doo's Iron Bark, like you mentioned. So Mez could be in a little bit of trouble here, but dampening only at 3% right now. RubCub dragging everybody down on the other side of the map here. Trill looking for another mana rift here. He's going to land it. RubCub has enough mana for about one Avenging Crusader, but he doesn't have the cooldown here, so he needs to make the most of it. There's Hammer of Justice. Jamili channeling out the missiles. Mez doing a good job shutting that down. Trill getting polymorphed, and this is a decent strategy as well. Go after the DK. Make sure you spam purge. You really need to get that Innovate from Sea-Doo. He's trying to get it. He goes for 2 spell steal. He does get it off there. Nicely done by Jamili, but he needs to keep purging Mez. Make sure that he never has any healing over time effects on him. But I think M2KC are running out of time here. In RubCub, I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to hold on here. Trill is still chasing him around that pillar.
I think he can live for a really long time if Mez can't get there. But if Mez can get on target, if Mez can stay on RubCub, he will fall. But they are not making it easy. The spell steal spam coming in from Jamili, denying the heals from Sea-Doo. However, here's the stun on RubCub. He's got no mana. The Demon Hunter really doing work. Divine Favor, massive heal on RubCub. Divine Steed, Blessing of Freedom. He's trying to run. He's trying to hide. He gets out of line of sight, but he's just got nothing. And now Rosies is really vulnerable. Mez can turn his attention there as Trill just stays on top of RubCub, manages to find it, but at the same time, Sea-Doo gets caught in a sap. Mez in dire straits. He's all by himself. Anti-Magic Shell, Darkness gets dropped out. Mez might be able to hold on with those defensive abilities. Sea-Doo finally out of crowd control, has to wait for the Iron Bark, but RubCub in a bash. He is so vulnerable in this position. I think M2KC, they're going to lose this match. RubCub, if he can hold on, it's going to be absolute miracle. Trill dispels the Divine Favor, interrupts RubCub. RubCub still out of line of sight. How is he alive? Trill can't believe it at this point. Finally gets to his target and ties up this series. We are going to a game.
Be sent to an early grave here on Ruins of Lordaeron. Who is it going to be? This is going to be quite a high-intensity game for Sea-Doo, most certainly.
Yeah, this is going to be an explosive match. Do not look away at any moment. As soon as Sea-Doo reveals himself, it's going to be an all-in pain train from M2KC. It's going to be up to Mez and Trill to keep him alive. If they can do it, I mean, obviously it's going to be great for Method Orange, but he's already caught in a kidney shot. Here we go. M2KC, they're looking to get aggressive early on. Anti-Magic Zone trades. Sea-Doo uses Bark Skin and Iron Bark to stay alive through this initial assault.
Yeah, and that was also the anti-magic zone from Mez Trails for the Vendetta, but Sea-Doo needs to make distance right now between him, RubCub, and Roasties. The longer he stays in, the more he's gonna die. Rosita Jones taking a lot of damage here, but we can see Trill is running that rain from above talent. Sea-Doo in huge trouble here. Darkness gets traded out. Trinket overlap. It's not looking good for Method.
Well, this is the Mew Mew kitty cat style, all aggression all the time, and they are going to outright crush Method Orange in less than a minute.
Yeah, okay, I was wrong. M2KC, that seemed like a pretty safe pick. They destroyed Sea-Doo through every single corner. We were almost saying that they were overlapping, and they just died through it.
So you still think that if he played right, he would have lived? Because that looked pretty hopeless, I'm not going to lie.
I'll tell you what.
Lee.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, rewatching that, I actually am not very impressed by how Sea-Doo played that one on the Druid. I think you have to open further away. You shouldn't just get death gripped instantly. He didn't have time to get hearts up. He got caught out of bear form, and then he had to use both his skins at the same time. So I think that's kind of the worst case scenario, and that's why them being able to tunnel him down was very tough for him there on the Druid. I think it's just kind of a series of unfortunate events, but it's definitely the hardest matchup you'll ever get as a Druid.
I think we spent the entire day saying that Rosita Jones is on the team to be the